answer. What is the Count's full name on Sesame Street? 215-263-WMMR. First caller in is Patrick, so let's go to him. Hey, Patrick, morning.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning to see you. All right, Patrick. So the Count's full name, please?
The Count's full name is Count Von Count.
Yes, that's correct.
Really?
Yeah. Hang on, Patrick. Got a pair of tickets to see Stavros Tolkaias, who is going to be playing Saturday, November 4th at the Met. And tickets for 2 shows that night are on sale now via Ticketmaster if you'd like to get those.
Was it somebody here who said that they were afraid of the Count?
I was.
Yes,
Yeah.
right, Nick.
And also my Uncle Tyler, who just passed away this year. He was a great man, but he kind of looked like the Count a little bit. So when I was 4 or 5 years old, I thought Tyler was terrifying because he had eyebrows that were similar to the Count. But yeah, Steve,
funny.
my mom would have to come running in, and the lightning would flash every time the Count would do the counting. Scared the crap out of me.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
You poor thing.
I know.
All right.
And then Tony Danza.
Number 1 at the box office, Taylor Swift Eras Tour, still there. $32.4 million is what it made.
They say she can give up her nighttime job, Preston.
Man, unbelievable.
She was always, listen, she was at the Chiefs game yesterday, and she's got a dance slash handshake that
Handshake.
she does to Patrick Mahomes' wife now. And
I love it.
Uh-huh.
It's so cute.
I love that people hate it. It's like, dude, stop it. Just enjoy it.
No.
No?
Then you have Killers of the Flower Moon, which was second, followed by The Exorcist, The Believer. 4 is Paw Patrol. Number 5 is Nighttime Before Christmas, followed by Saw X, The Creator. What?
Sorry, I was looking at something else. But I do find it funny that you don't. You're not into the Tay.
No.
Okay.
Is that okay?
No, it's
it's
certainly
not
fine.
okay, actually.
I
You said
think
it
you
wasn't
guys
okay.
should physically fight it
Well,
out.
he said it wasn't
now.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, so then we have Leo, Bloody Sweet, followed by A Haunting in Venice, and then The Blind was number 10 at the box office. So we're going to leave with this. Meryl Streep and her husband of 45 years, Don Gummer.
Don Gummer.
Don Gummer's here.
The Gummer.
Thank you for keeping your teeth out.
They are living their separate lives now.
This kind of caught me by surprise because I saw them at an award show fairly recently, and they were doing the Jada Pinkett Smith, Will Smith thing, putting on airs as if they were together. They were lying to us.
So the Oscar-winning icon, who is 74, and the fetid sculptor is 76, have been separated for more than 6 years.
6 years.
Yeah, so like it's been over for a long time.
And you know what's worse, Preston? She's living with Will Smith.
Oh,
Yeah.
That would be perfect. In an exclusive statement, a spokesperson for the star said Don Gummer and Meryl Streep, I know,
Don Gummer.
have been separated
You mean Don Gummer, the fetid sculptor?
for more than 6 years. And while they will always care for each other, they have chosen lives apart.
You know why they separated? Who are you married to again, Meryl? It's Don Gummer. What was that? Don Gummer. I know.
The news may come as a shock as the actress was seen recently she was seen recently wearing her wedding band.
Hey, Meryl, tell everyone what your husband's name is. It's Gummer. What? Don Gummer.
However, they were last seen together at the 2018 Oscars. They have 4 kids together. Henry Wolf, who is 43, Mamie Gummer,
Yeah.
who is
Little
40,
Billy Gummer.
Gracie Gummer,
Gus Gummer.
who's 37, and Louisa Jacobson, who is 30, and they raised at their Connecticut compound in the quiet historic town of Salisbury.
What about Pablo Gummer?
No. They also have 5 grandchildren together.
The little Gummers.
Streep met Gummer in 1978, shortly after the death of her boyfriend, actor John Cazale.
John Cazale, who is in Dog Day Afternoon and plays Fredo.
Yeah, and they were in The Deer Hunter together. So he passed away from lung cancer. Streep and Gummer wed that same year and have since kept their relationship out of the public eye. But apparently they've been apart for 6 years and have kind of found a way to keep it quiet.
That's crazy. I saw a documentary on John Cazale, who is considered an actor, like a Philip Seymour Hoffman. He was like, he was said to be completely revered.
Well, you pointed out to me that every movie he was ever in was nominated for Best Picture for an Oscar.
Yeah.
So amazing.
Yeah.
Had no idea these two.
handle things. I'm smart.
That's him.
He was.
That's him.
You know anybody who in their like late 60s, early 70s got divorced or got separated?
Yes.
Do you?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Well, a couple of friends growing up, there are people right on our street, and this was odd. Nick, one of the first divorces we can remember when I was growing up in East Northport, Long Island, a town of origin, was an older couple.
Yeah.
And it was like, what? First off, divorce. Second off, and everyone's going, why? You know? But yeah, they were in their 60s.
People grow apart. It can absolutely happen. So it did in that case, I'm sure.
The Sullivans was the name.
Emily Blunt is getting ahead of a potential scandal by telling People magazine that she's appalled about a September 2012 appearance on the UK's Jonathan Ross show, in which she called a waiter enormous. The actor was promoting her role in Rian Johnson's Looper at the time. A clip of Blunt calling the waiter enormous must have began circulating online as she issued a statement to People in which she apologized for her language. She said, apparently during the interview, she said, if you go to Chili's, you can see why so many of our American friends are enormous. She said, well, the girl who was serving me was enormous. And she said in a statement, I just need to address this head on as my jaw was on the floor watching this clip from 12 years ago. She said, I'm appalled that I would say something so insensitive, hurtful, and unrelated to whatever story I was trying to tell on a talk show. She said, I've always considered myself someone who wouldn't dream of upsetting anyone, so whatever possessed me to say anything like this in that moment is unrecognizable to me or anything I stand for. And yet it happened, and I said it, and I'm sorry for any hurt I may have caused, and I was absolutely old enough to know better.
It was an off-the-cuff comment 10 years ago, you know? And so how does this thing surface all of a sudden, right? This interview for the movie Looper.
Yep, do not know, but she's just kind of getting out in front of it and saying, yeah, that was stupid of me, and I can't believe I said
stand by it.
And I
She was huge.
hate enormous people.
And they should be rounded up and put into some sort of camp.
A mustachioed Mick Jagger appeared in a sketch with Bad Bunny while Lady Gaga introduced the rapper's first musical number on SNL over the weekend. Jagger appeared in a sketch with host and musical guest Bad Bunny, who played a Spanish soap opera actor filming an episode in which his villainous character repeatedly slaps his brother in the face. And during the taping, Jagger enters in a white suit, wearing a fake mustache, and shockingly revealed to be the two men's father. The scene reaches its climax when the rocker's character slaps both of his sons.
I was watching. I thought Bad Bunny did a pretty good job. Did anybody watch it?
I watched it as well. Yeah. It was interesting to me, Steve, because I would say half the show was in Spanish.
It was, yeah.
And I don't speak Spanish, and it was okay because he speaks Spanish very well. But there was a lot of it where I just didn't quite know what was going on.
So right after the commercial break, Lady Gaga appeared and introduced Bad Bunny's first musical performance of the night. Both Jagger and Lady Gaga were previously seen together in New York City on Thursday when the latter joined the Rolling Stones on stage at the Racket NYC in Manhattan. And, of course, Pierre Robert gave us a first-hand account because he was at that show.
Did you see on Friday, Pierre got down on his knee and kissed the ring of Bill Weston right here in the studio? He did. Right
Did
in
he?
the doorway. Yeah.
I did not see that.
Bill gave up his invite to let Pierre go.
He did, which was a pretty damn cool thing to do. I mean, you talk about a super exclusive
Oh, my
event.
God.
And Bill was invited, and he gave it up to Pierre. That's pretty awesome. So Britney Spears is getting real about what it was actually like partying with Paris Hilton and Lindsay Lohan back in the day. In her forthcoming memoir, The Woman in Me, the singer reflects on her heavily photographed, highly publicized nights out with the Simple Life star and the Mean Girls actress during her divorce from Kevin Federline in 2006. And Spears writes, there was an advanced copy of the book, and one of these excerpts was pulled out of it. She wrote, it was never as wild as the press made it out to be. She also notes that she wasn't interested in drugs and never had a drinking problem either. Instead, she explains that her drug of choice at the time was the ADHD medication Adderall, which she writes, made me high, yes, but what I found far more appealing was that it gave me a few hours of feeling less depressed.
So in this troika, is this where the name Firebush came from? They
I
labeled.
don't remember if it was that night or there was a guy
Right.
who was
Like a
friends
hanger-on?
with Paris who called Lindsay Firebush.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
But
that's
I don't
where it came
remember
from.
if it was while these three were hanging out together or not. Spears also reveals that several of her most infamous public incidents, including when she shaved her head and hit a photographer's car with an umbrella, occurred at a time in her life when she was, quote, out of my mind with grief due to the death of her aunt and her custody battle with Federline over their two sons. She said, with my shaved head, everyone was scared of me, even my mom. She wrote, flailing those weeks without my children, I lost it over and over again, and I didn't even really know how to care for myself. She now acknowledges that her actions at the time weren't always appropriate. She wrote, I am willing to admit that in the throes of several postpartum depression, abandonment by my husband, the torture of being separated from my 2 babies, the death of my adored Aunt Sandra, and the constant drumbeat of pressure from paparazzi, I'd begin to think in some ways like a child, she said. So the memoir is coming out actually tomorrow. So we'll get more of it.
The problem is when stuff like that happens, like Locust, you're going to draw in more paparazzi. So when you say, please give us some distance, the absolute opposite happens. So you could clearly see she was going through a mental breakdown at that point, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse.
Yeah. So there will be more information coming out as the book comes out.
Michelle Williams reads the book on tape.
Oh, does she?
Yeah.
Okay. So here we're going to the Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce thing. Kelly Clarkson denied shading the two of their romance after saying that their relationship is, quote, literally taking over the NFL. She wrote, I did not bash anyone's romance. I am pro-romance. Yay, romance.
I listened to the clip that is supposedly getting her in trouble. She says nothing directly about them.
Yeah, she said, did y'all even watch what I actually said on my show? I just said that I want to watch football when I tune in to watch football. Seems an appropriate request. The singer's post comes just one day after she made headlines for expressing her qualms on the Kelly Clarkson show. She said it's not hilarious how it's not hilarious how it is literally taking over the NFL for people that like watching sports now. She said it's like you're watching Housewives while you're watching.
And she was saying it in a very buoyant way. She wasn't going, God damn it, they're ruining the sport.
She went on to joke that the broadcasters have even shifted to talking about gossip instead of the game itself in between plays. She said, and you're like, so what about the play? She said jokingly, adding that Swift and Kelce are, quote, taking over the sport. The songstress isn't the only one noticing the spike. The Football League's SVP of Social Influencer and Content Marketing told CBS News earlier this month that Swift's presence on the sidelines has made for an unprecedented uptick in viewership, and the sports giant is happy to ride the wave.
Of course.
Last week, Kelce and Swift were spotted packing on some PDA during a late-night date in New York City. They were also seen holding hands last weekend following their sushi date at Nobu in Manhattan.
Nobu. Yes, boo to Nobu.
I mean, at this point, can I say, I told you so? Marissa was wrong. You guys were wrong that this was a stunt. I think it's real.
Okay.
I didn't say it was a stunt.
No,
I think
did.
you agreed with me.
Yeah,
Preston did. Marissa did.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly admit.
Yeah.
I thought it was just
Look at Travis Kelce, though. We were talking about this case. You and I were talking about Gronk, how Gronk rode every other commercial.
He's in way more than Gronk ever was.
And he's in way quicker. So every other commercial now is Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Yep.
I did see that.
An insider, according to an insider, the singer is reportedly already falling for her athletic beau. They said Taylor is blown away right now, and her family is all about Travis. She is trying to keep it together, but is obviously falling in love with him, and he feels the same way.
He better be good to her. She writes one song about him.
I will predict this. No way.
No.
This ain't going.
No, it will not
this
go
ain't
the
going the
distance.
distance.
It may not go the month, but
I mean that's my take. So
history would dictate that, right?
I would think so. But who knows? Maybe.
But this is her first athlete, right? Her first. They've all
as far
been.
as I know, it's all been musicians, right?
Maybe this is the mix she
or
needs.
actors, or whatever. I've lost track.
It was Tom Hiddleston was in there at one point, wasn't he?
I don't know.
You know what?
I honestly don't know.
There's a single gentleman named Gummer. Right? We know
is
it.
True.
Yeah.
This is true.
John Gummer.
So, Kourtney Kardashian shared love for her sister Kim on her 43rd birthday Saturday, despite the explosive feud that has been playing out in the new season of The Kardashians. Sharing a throwback photo of the pair together to her Instagram stories, Kourtney wrote, "Happy birthday to my first sister. Thank you for all those years of bossing you around and you actually listening to all my crazy ideas. People think the fights that they've seen on TV are bad. If only they got to witness the hair-pulling, nail-digging ones from early high school.
Yeah.
The joys of sisterhood," she wrote. So
They think our
everybody's-
fake fights are real.
Yeah, so she's showing some love out there socially. Speaking of birthdays, Snoop Dogg celebrated his birthday with some help from Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly. On Saturday, a day after he marked his 52nd birthday, the legendary MC got the ultimate surprise from Ferrell and Reilly when they presented him with a massive cake, a crowd sing-along, and a performance of Boats and Hoes from Step Brothers during Ferrell's Best Night of Your Life 2 benefit show at Los Angeles Greek Theater.
What? Did we just become best friends? Yep.
The team also featured a very special rendition of Snoop's Gin and Juice. And during the get-together, a 3-layer cake was rolled out on stage for Snoop as well.
So this is sort of monumental because there had been a rift between John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell.
That's right.
Adam McKay is at the nexus. Adam McKay took ownership of causing all this because he said he was not as politically correct or delicate when he gave this role that Will Ferrell wanted to John C. Reilly. But apparently all is good now. So that's good.
I think Will Ferrell didn't really begrudge John C. Reilly that much for taking the role. He wanted it.
You're exactly right.
I think he's really pissed at Adam McKay, and I would love to see those guys mend fences, but I don't think they have yet.
And Adam McKay has basically said he's in fact straight out said he's sorry for the way he handled it.
Yeah, he's not handled it well.
Yeah.
So Snoop wrote on Instagram, "My brothers surprised me, Will and John." And he showed a special backstage moment. Earlier this week, Snoop chatted with people about how he celebrated his birthday month and why he looks good at age 52. He said, "You got housekeeping." He said, "You got to treat yourself. Don't cheat yourself." He said, "Like fine wine, I am aging better with time. But we really only got a short time here, so making the most of life and trying to be the best version of me every day by surrounding myself with good people, positive energy, and love as well." So that's the way he's feeling at 52. All right, I saved this story. Stress and love while hanging out at the beach can cause one's body to do some strange things. And one of those strange things that the body does is to form what's called a poo baby.
A poo baby?
Yes. This week's episode of Bachelor in Paradise revealed one contestant's struggle to take a dump and the formation of a poo baby that forced her to quit the show.
Please explain.
The 27-year-old Sam Jeffries had gone 9 days without a bowel movement when the reality show's on-call emergency room physician decided to get involved. Dr. Kelly
cesarean?
Tenbrink set a deadline of the following morning for her to deliver her poo baby or go home to receive medical attention for her situation. After the discussion with the doctor, the occupational therapist had to break the news to her castmates. The clock was ticking, and if Sam didn't crap before morning arrived, she was leaving paradise. Sam had tried laxatives, stool softeners, and certain kinds of food with no luck. Her connection...
I think I can help get it out.
Aaron Schwartzman even offered up some assistance. He got her coffee, olive oil, and for what turned out to be their final date, they had Mexican food. And all of that was not enough to induce labor. When the morning of the 10th arrived, Sam was sent packing to give more drastic measures a try.
It's time for a hot beef injection.
Host Jesse Palmer provided an update prior to the rose ceremony. He said she has not pooped yet. She's doing okay, but there's been no movement with respect to that just yet.
So on average, how long could you can have a compacted colon, you can I know you can have toxic reaction in your system. On average, how long should you go or before you really seek medical
That's a good question.
assistance?
I was telling Nick the other day, I think it was on Friday, I'm like, I'm going to go take my first poop in a week.
Yeah, that was a long time for me.
That was a week?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've been dieting and I've been eating better.
Yeah.
And when that happens, I find that I have far fewer bowel movements.
Yes.
I'm exercising more often and I'm eating better. And I think my body uses up
You're
most
using
of
everything.
that.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Yes.
And it was a good one on Friday, Nick. By the way, it was very nice.
No video?
High five.
No, but I can do that next time if you want. By now, Sam's situation has surely been resolved. There's no word on whether or not she needed medical intervention or if home field advantage was all that was needed to get things moving. But apparently, she's okay.
How romantic.
Isn't it, though? It's all part of being in paradise.
They don't have this problem in The Golden Bachelor.
All right, we going to do clips?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir. The cinematic thriller Dangerous Waters is about a young woman, her boyfriend, and her single mother embark on a sailing adventure to Bermuda. However, when criminals suddenly attack their boat, the trip turns into a desperate fight for survival. And here, actor Ordea Rush talks about her process of finding her character within herself.
The emotional work was it was tough, but also we filmed everything chronologically, so it felt more honest than usual. I think Saffron and I had an amazing connection. Saffron played my mom, and she left, as she did her death scene and then left. So there was a lot of things to draw there because of how we filmed it.
Yeah, big whoop, no one cares.
Dangerous Waters is currently available in select theaters and on demand. Here's our next clip. The Fall of the House of Usher is a contemporary horror series based on multiple works by Edgar Allan Poe. In this clip, production designer Lauren Kelsey talks about the journey of translating Poe's work to modern day.
I think it was actually really interesting and an interesting challenge because all the period works in the show, like the older time periods that we visited, those were a lot easier to incorporate in. But as you alluded to, taking a modern, big glass high-rise apartment and finding a way to instill the value of sort of the Poe of it all is very challenging.
Translation, boring.
The Fall of the House of Usher is now streaming on Netflix.
You know, it's wild because I watched the trailer and a few minutes of it, and it appears to be done in the original prose, the original.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah, that's my guess, and I might be wrong on that, Nick, but take a perusal of even just the trailer, and I think that's the way they're approaching
I like when they do that, when they
Yeah.
take old text and, they keep it verbatim, but they add modern flair to it.
Kind of like the Romeo and Juliet,
Yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio thing.
Exactly.
I was reading a review that it's very macabre and pretty intense. So I don't know. I haven't
super
watched
moody
it
as
personally. So.
as is the material.
Yep. All right. That's the entertainment report, and we are going to take a break a little bit later this morning. We're going to talk Phil's Greg Murphy, and we got stuff to do and things to give away. So we'll take a break and come back in just a second. Hang out with us. Coming in thing.
Yeah, butter spray.
Is that what?
I
no,
can't
not
believe it's
spray,
not
not
butter.
There's
spray.
an actual like liquid, almost
Really?
like
liquidy
like the way you
butter.
dispense mustard.
It was
I don't
more
remember
back in the 80s probably, and if you had a waffle, you could go blink, 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 blink in each little.
Okay.
I had a waffle.
Each little
I'd eat
crevice.
it in the morning. Yeah, there we go.
Do you
Parkway.
need butter in every little square?
You do.
If you're
you're a man.
If you're a man, no.
Okay.
No, I obsess about little things like that.
Okay.
It's just like weird.
So your answer is yes, you do.
Yeah, I have a butter memory with Preston that is probably 19 years old. Do you know what it is?
memories.
Butter memory.
Preston, do you remember the butter memory?
That's probably 19 years old.
19 years old.
Butter memories.
You would have to butter memories. You would have to give me a hint.
Me, you, Steve, and Marilyn.
Wow.
that wraps it up.
Butterfest,
did a show
1998.
for 3 years together.
Media
We're
Court
lucky.
Diner.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
You know the butter memory?
Yeah.
Oh, well, do tell.
So we're sitting there, and it's after we had done a show, and we're having lunch, and there was
We're all just getting to know each other, by the way.
yeah, we're all getting to know each other, and so they had a little ramekin full of butter, which is a small dish. And so I guess it was a ball of butter or something like that. And we're just talking, and I just reach out and grab it and just squish it with my hand, just to be outrageous.
Provocative.
I'm like, ooh, butter.
Yeah.
And I did that, and he died laughing.
I was
So.
like, what? I wish I would have done that.
Love at first sight.
That looked fun.
Butter memories.
But if I owned a diner and
I dine in the morning.
I was serving waffles, there would be a special little spray that I would put melted butter in so that you could go.
You would keep it like you could even have it as you could have the way you have a mug warmer where your butter could be on it and with the pump so that you could dispense that
Now
way.
it would need to be more like misty,
Like a fire hose?
no, like
a spray bottle.
like a spray bottle, like
Okay.
you would spray your
Like
your indoor
like a
plants.
spritz.
I disagree. I think that the butter, like the spray butter, you're lessening the quality of the butter product. And if you're going to have like actual butter, you're going to need to have like a vat of melted butter. This is your diner, so I'm not trying to tell you how to run your business.
You open your own diner next door and do regular, normal, boring pats of butter.
I kind of want to work with you, like almost like as if I was your therapist, and to make you okay with not having butter in every square. Like it's all right.
No, I know.
It's still going to taste good. You're going to get enough butter.
Believe me, I've
Touchstone Pictures. He had to have butter in every square until a concerned therapist came into his life. My name is Romano. I think I can help you.
Then we need some good music, like
yes, inspiring.
Gabriel,
Salisbury Hill.
Salisbury Hill. Yeah. See if you can pull that. So the serious part when he realizes he has a problem.
Oh no, I can't even get it together anymore. Every time I go into the diner, I start trembling like crazy. I think I know someone you can talk to. And then she came into his life. My name's Romano, and today's the day we start making changes. From Touchstone Pictures, the story of a boy who learned now how to not have butter in every square of his waffle. Butter Squareless Waffle Boy.
Butter Squareless Waffle Boy?
Or something to that effect.
It's butter therapist.
I feel like I already went through this with Jace. Like at breakfast time. It's okay, honey.
Unbutterable.
Is that the name of the movie?
Yeah.
I'm doing it!
I heard recently that isn't even, I mean, just the old, sneaking the look at your next door neighbor's paper is not necessarily the chosen form of cheating these days, because so much stuff is done online now that students are using Google Docs quite a bit to cheat with.
All the time.
Yeah.
And so now they're trying to make, in fact, they've said they've noticed a general increase in grades that they believe is artificially manipulated.
Really?
And so much so that Google itself has stepped up and has, like I'm looking at an article here, they're trying to set up ways to prevent Google Docs being used for cheating.
So here's the way I understand that this works, and if I'm wrong, please tell me.
Yeah.
We've got students here, we've got strippers that know the answers as well, because Victoria was chiming in on this while we were off air. That if someone takes a test in a class before you, that you're going to have that same class, and they therefore can get that exact exam that you're about to take and send that to you before you take the exam. Is that kind of the way it works? Is that what I understand?
You know who knows?
Ben knows. Ben, come in here.
Ben.
Intern Ben, we're going to get him on the mic. And by the way, Ben, are you currently a student?
Yes, I go to Temple University right now. I've been there for 3 years now.
Okay. All right. So what I was just saying, I know you guys are busy in the other room there. When someone is taking an exam, they can take that exam and give it to someone else who has that same test later on in the day. Is that how it works?
So it totally depends, but like a lot of the times, it will just be on your laptop in class, and it's impossible to govern everyone's laptop, as you can imagine.
Okay. Okay.
You all right?
Had to run in.
He's a little nervous.
I was wondering why you talk like that. And actually, it's the thing. It's the Google documents.
I've talked to Ben many times. I've never heard his voice quite like that before.
It's as we matriculate through the process of the Temple University. Of course, enriched by the learning that we have.
So I guess.
You poor kid.
I guess no. Ben doesn't talk like that.
Excited to come on air with us.
We just pulled him in hat by. It's not his fault. It's not his fault.
Off guard, that's all.
Okay. So Ben, I guess what Preston's asking is how does
Let's start over.
How does the document get disseminated to everyone who's looking to cheat off that original document?
So you can have a Google Doc open on your laptop in like a separate tab, and then you can send it to anybody that has like a Google email. And of course, our school uses Google for everything.
So you can have the Google Doc, I guess, open on a different browser.
Right.
And just sort of toggle between the two, the test and the Google Doc test, Google Doc. I don't know. Gabby's here as well. She's also a student. You know.
What's your take on it?
Yes.
Stop it. I'm just kidding. Poor Ben. We pull him in while he's trying to do other work. So
What's your take on it, Gabby?
Yeah. So if you're in a group, just like in a group, when you're doing one of your assignments, you obviously have everybody's email. So you can set up this Google Doc where you can share everything that you do. So even if you're in one class earlier and you have a friend that's in the next class later in the day, you can just share that document with other people in other classes.
Okay. And Victoria, were you the student? Did you do this or hear about this happening as well? Yes. Oh, why is your mic not on? I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yes. So when I was in school, it was just super easy. Well, first of all, the website is pretty, like, once you, like, get it down, it's super easy to, like, use. And yes, like, sharing is, like, so easy, and it's so easy to communicate on there amongst many people.
Did anyone ever flow? I mean, because they're saying that it's actually it has had, and Google has actually had to step in to give teachers ways to fight this. Do you know anyone who's ever cheated using the system?
Well, that's what I was going to ask.
I would say.
Actually, no, I'm not aware.
Ben has something to say about the Apple Watches.
Yes.
So not about the Apple Watch, but I do have a story we can go into.
Okay, please do.
So in high
Make it a long
school,
one.
I went to a tech school. So I was in computer programming, obviously.
Right, yeah.
Obviously.
So, but we figured out a way to cheat on the learning guides, which is like our little exercises to learn how to program, but the teacher caught wind of this.
Yeah.
So for a month, every student had to handwrite all their code.
Oh, God.
Because we were cheating, which is like
Writing
Java and HTML. That's awful.
That's crazy. That's all little symbols.
We had to handwrite all of it, then we had to type it up, and that was like his way to prevent us from cheating. And I was pissed because I wasn't cheating. I was the one actually doing it right because
This
all the
is
other students were.
outlandish. This is absolutely outlandish. I'm going to take you outside and kick your ass.
Did you rat everybody out because you weren't
What am
cheating?
I, a monk? This is ridiculous.
No, Casey, I was trying to be cool.
No. But so how long did it take to take a test like that?
Well, for what would take 5 minutes on the computer was about 25 on the paper.
Jesus.
Just because you got to remember the symbols, you got to squiggle them or whatever.
Just you have to talk through them. Just keep
This
talking.
is the goddamn dumbest thing I've ever heard. It's goddamn ridiculous.
25 on the paper.
No, but I mean, to write, he was talking about writing code is in all symbols and intense stuff. It's,
Preston, get yourself together.
I can't. Steve being outrageous Ben is killing me. Oh, this is an outrage.
Preston, our dancer wants to chime in here as well.
Oh, yes, Victoria. Yes.
Yeah, don't forget about me. Okay.
I'm
anyways.
sorry, Victoria.
No, it's okay. It's just so funny. I'm listening to how like far people will go to like actually cheat. And I went to a really good school, and we would literally cheat in groups, and the teachers had no idea. That's how
No
oblivious.
idea.
I guess they were just paid so well that like I swear they didn't care.
do you think there's some credence to the fact that schools who rely on, how the school's performing would allow this to happen to
I guess to keep up with
their
the
reviews
standard
and
or
stuff like
whatever.
that?
Yeah.
It's
I mean, I
conceivable.
went to a really good school, so like I guess like high test scores were like super important.
So it's
And-
plausible deniability, right? That you can say, okay, they're just getting good grades.
And what's funny enough, in 9th grade, I actually had a social studies teacher that would literally grade you on like if he liked you or not. Like we would write what we had for breakfast on like literally I would write the most ridiculous answers, and some of them would be right and some of them would be wrong. I swear this man graded you on whether he liked you or not, or maybe your outfit that day. Like I swear
I bet
he
you
didn't
did
care.
very well.
Yes, being stunningly gorgeous helps too.
I passed, by the way. And he
It's
fed
gotta be
us. Like,
so
he
hard.
was a G. He was awesome.
What's going on over here? Just because she's super hot, she passes? I'm here writing goddamn code. My fingers are falling off. She talks about having egos and she gets an A+.
You're a good sport, Ben.
Yeah, well, it's an outrage, frankly. Goddamn, it says like I have a rheumatoid arthritis writing all this code. And over here, she says she had a Pop-Tart for breakfast. She has an A+.
I love when you threaten to kick their ass.
Outside now, I'm going to put my foot so far up your ass, you're going to see my big toe coming out your nose.
Oh my God.
All right, we have to wrap this up.
Oh, we do? Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
No.
Officials are working to contain a scabies outbreak.
No. What the
Yeah,
hell?
this is at Radnor Middle School and
Oh, no way.
one student from Radnor Elementary School. Yeah. Yep.
Scabies.
Mhm. And at least 18 students were diagnosed with the infectious disease.
Okay, what is scabies?
It's a rash.
Okay.
Isn't that wait? Okay, scabies isn't crabs.
Well, it is caused by a mite. A little creature.
Okay.
But they normally it's not visible to the naked eye. But it's not It's not crabs.
It's not okay.
It's not like
but
crotch
do you
crabs.
get it down there?
You can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you're lucky.
The scabies will burrow under the skin and lay eggs.
Oh God.
An itchy rash consisting of raised tracts, bumps, or blisters may appear on parts of the body, including between fingers, wrists, elbows, armpits, waistline, thighs, and genitalia.
Including the nutsack.
Yes, probably.
Yeah.
Well, there
all the little crevices and cracks. They lay their eggs.
sacks are yummy.
I remember in high school there was an outbreak in our school, but it was everyone who was getting it down there.
Yeah. And so it seems like it's few and far between that we have scabies outbreaks. I always consider that one of those bizarre peripheral things like scurvy and gout.
There was the guy that I told you about that wanted to go halfsies on the fleshlight.
Oh yeah. And by the way, again, take that in. Nick knows someone who wanted to go halvesies on a fleshlight.
Yeah.
God, I hate it. From MR.
Nick pulled up the extended forecast for Halloween that day. High 58, so it's cooling off by the time we get there.
That's all right, yeah.
Maybe a chance of a passing shower that evening. But I mean, we're still a few days out. We're a little ways out,
exactly.
So, who knows what'll happen? But it is looking like the temperature's going to turn a little bit cooler. But that's doable. That's not crazy cold.
You got a costume on.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. By the way, I over the weekend experienced for the first time ever with Kathy in attendance my first fall activity.
Ooh, I didn't know about this. Where'd you go?
I went to Floral and Hardy.
Hey.
And
because it's right in your backyard, basically, right?
And I made a little pumpkin succulent.
You did.
I did.
Where's the video?
I actually was just editing the reel on
Son
Instagram.
of a
I'm
bitch.
going to post it this morning.
So
this was Saturday?
Yeah, no, it was Friday.
Friday night.
So I just showed up at the tail end of it because I was out playing golf with a buddy.
Ladies and gentlemen, Preston Elliott is here.
It was a beautiful day, and Kathy had texted me. She's like, by the way, this is going on. So I hauled ass back.
Wow.
To make it in time, and I just made it in time. They were wrapping up, but it had some nice little port wine cheese and crackers and some wine.
And there was like a lot of ladies and one guy, right?
Yes,
yeah, I remember. Yeah, you
I
mentioned
met
that.
him.
Yeah.
I met him.
He was same story as the guy that came out to Jeff Devlin's farm, Sycamore and Stone Farm with us. It was like it wasn't the same guy, but it was similar.
Yeah.
This guy who came to Floral and Hardy, I said to him, did your girlfriend or wife, did she make you come, or do you actually want to be here? And he was like, actually, I heard the list. He's like, I heard the pumpkin succulent, pulled over on the side of the road. He was driving, called his girlfriend and was like, do you want to do this? And she's like, yes, that sounds awesome. He goes, and I booked it. He goes, and then by the time you ended the list, he goes, it was sold out. So I was so excited that we got in. So it was cool. I love when guys come out and take part.
You had a good time?
Boyfriend or husband.
Oh,
That's
God.
That's a good call on his part. Yeah, it was fun. It was quick. They were wrapping up by the time I got there. So I made my little succulent. It only took me like 10 minutes. I did a pretty good job, I thought.
did.
I want to see when you get the pictures.
Yes,
I want to see
I
that
have
in the
them.
video and
I
so
don't
on and
have
so forth.
I don't have a close-up of it. It's at home, but
And did you have a little wine?
you know what? I didn't because the game was coming on later on. I wanted to kind of hold off and.
Did you do any coke?
Do my? I did a couple of quick rails and then got out of there. But no, we were.
It gets crazy at Floral and Hardy.
Well, I imagine, yes.
There were-
Because the coke is done out like a jack-o'-lantern.
Some of the ladies were in a good mood for sure when I got there. They were.
Yeah, and you know what?
Having a few drinks.
It
and
was
having
such
fun.
a great group of people. There was a mother and a daughter. There were, a lot of girlfriends that came together.
I love
it. The women that were sitting next to us have been friends since first grade. They came out. There was a guy who was there with his girlfriend. Yeah, it was a couple of my friends came. It was
And the
fun.
fact that you go and that you're running, this is your baby. I mean, the activities thing, and the fact that you go out and actively participate and enjoy it, that's a very cool thing to do that. So
Well, and I have to say, when this was all created and the farm tour that I used to do with my cousin, who was there also. But when we found Floral and Hardy, I'm not joking. They're a little family-owned shop, and Bill sometimes gives me a hard time. But they don't have. I can't find classes like that. There are other classes out there for sure, but the ones that they offer, It's so much fun. It's such a nice place. They do a great job with everybody that comes out. So I'm really thankful to them that they did kind of this exclusive event for us.
So that was nice. That was a good way to cap off the Friday evening with Kath, because we don't want to talk about Friday night's baseball game, but Saturdays was way better.
Yes, much better.
That's a good thing. And then I wake up on Sunday morning.
Still glowing from Floral and Hardy?
No, glowing from the Phils' victory that night,
okay, all right.
on Saturday.
And the pumpkins.
And as we're just kind of getting our morning started, I hear Rochelle. She goes by the into our laundry area, into the utility, whatever you want to call it, the laundry room, whatever. And all of a sudden I hear her, she goes, "Oh my God, there's a bird in the house."
Wait, what?
A bird?
Like, you're kidding me. I'm like, no. I'm like, that's going to take all day to get this thing out of here. So sure enough, I come walking around and he's in there, and I have video of it. I need to edit it down because I was, walking around for a while following the escapades of this bird.
So a sparrow, a starling,
a little bird of some type. It was
condor,
it was a little bit bigger than a finch, but I don't know exactly what it was. But
and they're tricky.
Yeah, they are.
They're tricky.
And so he starts off in the laundry room, and then we're trying to figure out what to do. Now, our laundry room doesn't have a door on it. We took it off years ago. It just makes more sense because it goes out to the garage.
Yeah.
And so I walk in there, and I'm like just trying to assess the situation, and then he darts right out of the laundry room into the kitchen.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And then he goes into from the kitchen into this area that's kind of like what we call our game room. There's pool table and football table and all that.
Now he has free reign of the whole house because he's made it out of the laundry room.
Made it out of there, and there are no doors where he's flying.
Oh, man.
And so I'm following him around trying to figure out what to do, and he starts flying into windows, and we're like, okay, obviously we need to open up the windows. We got to figure out a way to usher him out. And then he makes it into the foyer, and then he went upstairs.
Oh, no.
So
I'm like, oh my
a bird
God.
like that, if it's virtually impossible unless you have a real professional level butterfly net.
Yeah,
you're going to have no shot at getting a bird out. How long did it take?
Actually, not as long as I thought it would.
The flamethrower.
So once he went upstairs, he ends up into the main bedroom. I didn't know where he went once he flew upstairs. I'm like, oh my God, where is he? So first thing I did is I went upstairs and closed all the doors.
Yes.
I'm like, wherever he is, we want to contain him in one area.
We're containing our problem.
Oh, my cats would have destroyed the
Thank
thing.
God the dogs didn't see the bird. They would have flipped out.
Okay.
So are you playing it like super? Hey guys, I'm just going upstairs. I want you to chew on your little jerky treats.
I don't know where
take a shower.
They were actually. They must have been hiding out downstairs somewhere. But so I made it up, and he's in. It turns out he's in the bedroom.
Yeah.
And so I had the door closed, thankfully, and then we opened up all the windows, and he found his way out.
We have two ways to do this, bird.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but
I thought for sure it was going to be an all-day affair trying to get that thing out of the house.
Because you see them.
You may have flown into some little cubby somewhere, and just like, I'm going to hide out here for a while.
Anytime anything like that gets into the house, they seem incapable of figuring out which way is out of the house.
Yeah, because they want to hide.
Yeah.
You know, they feel threatened, I would
Right.
imagine.
Did he crap all over your house?
I didn't see any bird poop. No.
But he ate one of the dogs.
Did you see him fly out the window?
No, Rochelle did.
Oh, all right.
So yeah, there was
Goodbye, Rochelle.
there was visual confirmation.
Right, because sometimes you're like, whoa, we haven't seen him in a half hour. He's got to be gone, right? And he just turns out he's in the closet. Yeah.
Well, what I immediately was thinking of, like the birds that live in Lowe's and Home Depot.
Yes.
You know, because you see them all the time. I'm like, they just settle in
In a mall.
Yeah.
I think there was the one time, was it Franklin Mills I was in? I saw more birds in that friggin' mall. Like, it was just crazy, the amount. And I don't know, because you'll see them, and sometimes, do you even try to get them out?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because there's just going to be no way.
Yeah. And the ones in Lowe's and Home Depot, I mean, they find food. They, You know, they
It's the
probably
food court.
build nests.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it is a perfect place for a bird.
I haven't looked around Costco. I bet you there's birds in Costco.
Stop
too.
and think about that. The likelihood that you have a predatorial bird in there with you is nominal.
That'd be the one place where Kathy could do some bird watching is a Costco, right? Target.
Or Target.
Yeah.
Oh, the bird watching is great at Target.
I don't know if the ceilings are high enough in Target. By the way, the Target in Plymouth Meeting caught on fire.
Did you get my email?
Yeah,
What
Kathy
happened?
was distraught. I don't think it was anything. It must have been minor.
I think I thought it was like an electrical fire.
Okay.
Like
Your credit card set on fire.
Seriously.
Just
No, but
spontaneously combusted.
Steve, there was a sign that said closed until further notice.
Oh, my
I was
God.
like, what?
Well, when is the notice coming?
Well, and I haven't heard an update. I don't know if they've reopened.
By the way, speaking of the bird thing, here's an interesting suggestion from somebody who texted in. They said the trick is to black out all of your windows except one, and they will fly to where the light is.
So, what do you use, paint?
No, but if you have blinds or curtains,
Oh, that's obvious.
you close everything, and
Paint is drastic.
That's a good idea. Hang on, I'm going to go to Alicia. Hi, Alicia. Good morning.
Hi, Preston. How are you doing?
Good. What's up, Alicia?
Oh, last Christmas, my husband went to pick a package off the front step. We had a wreath there. The bird loved the wreath. And he's like, I told you not to put that wreath back on. Sure enough, the damn bird comes flying in. Our Christmas tree's up.
Oh, man.
He's like, there's a bird in the house. And I'm like, oh, you know, crap. We're running around screaming, trying to get a blanket to get this bird out. And all of a sudden, I just had something said, just close your legs. And it was flying around our family room. I closed my legs. I catch the bird between my legs.
You caught the bird between your legs.
Between my legs. I'm like, it's
died.
It's in my legs. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, the bird. Get over here.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
You caught a bird between your legs.
My legs. And so he's like, I don't know what to do. So I just reached down. I gently grabbed the bird. And I'm like, open the door, open the door. And I'm screaming, and I walk outside, and I throw the bird in the air, and he flies away. But,
Let me ask you, maybe this is indelicate. Did you ever work in the porn industry?
Yeah,
because that's incredible leg control that you could catch and the bird was in flight, obviously.
It was just the weirdest thing, and I honestly feel like this is like the one superpower I have. I can
Get birds between your thighs.
I'm pretty impressed with myself. And my daughter and my husband are like, "Oh my God, would you shut up about this stupid bird?"
No, that is a
miracle. That bird is out of our house.
It's crazy
anymore, and the whole thing was caught on the Ring camera.
It's crazy that you didn't injure the bird. You know, they're so insanely delicate.
It was a tiny bird. It was a little tiny like sparrow, and I just caught it, and the Ring camera proved it all. And we were like, oh my gosh, we sound like such idiots. And afterwards,
Do you have footage of you catching the bird on the Ring camera? Oh, damn it.
it was just like all the audio. Like,
Okay.
Oh my gosh, the Ring camera. So we played it back. It was pretty hysterical.
Alicia, you're about to say, and then afterwards, what happened?
Oh, and then afterwards we read the same thing. Shut off all the lights, open a door, put a light on in that one area, and the bird will go to the light. I'm like, we did everything wrong.
Yeah. No, just use your, well, you got the Thigh Master at the house.
I
Yeah.
know.
Wow.
I love it. All right, thank you. Thank you, Alicia. Appreciate it.
So you darken all the windows and you leave one window light.
And they'll find it.
Okay. All right.
I like that. All right, we'll go to Samantha. Hi, Samantha. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. What's up?
So I'm a teacher, and I called last week about Yosemite.
Yosemite, yes.
Yes, that's me. So I was virtual teaching during COVID, and basically you're on Zoom, and I'm teaching a student, and she's reading, like tutoring, and she's reading a passage, and all of a sudden, like next to my head, I hear like a boom. I'm like, what the? And I look over, and I think they're like the swallows. They have the long, pointy noses.
Right.
And it starts dive bombing at my head. I'm screaming, and the girl's like, what's going on? I'm like, nothing, everything's okay. So she turns her camera back on, and now I'm running around my office trying to catch this bird. My dog comes running in because now she's like, what's going on? So I'm chasing the dog who's chasing the bird. And because it's virtual teaching, because it's virtual teaching, I'm still in my pajama shorts with like a nice top on.
Oh, my God.
So she's like, Miss P, what are you wearing? I'm like, nothing. Hold on.
You're being attacked by this bird?
And I'm like, what the? And she's laughing because she can see it on the Zoom. And so finally I like shoo it into like a bathroom and open the window and it gets out. But then like her mom comes on. Her mom's like, yeah, Miss P was attacked by a bird. And her mom's like, stop telling funny stories. I'm like, no, she's right. I was.
That's wild. What a bizarre situation to have a bird bombing your head. Yeah.
Yeah, while I'm teaching.
While you're teaching. Yeah, that's the big fear. So when
Thanks,
you get so I've had don't think I've ever had a bird in this. I had a bat in my apartment twice.
Oh, man.
That actually, and in my house in Manayunk. I walked in. I'll never forget this. That's when we had 10 cats. So, suddenly I put two and two together as I'm walking through the house. I realized I haven't seen any cats. I go up, Kathy, to my bedroom, and every cat in the house is just there. It's like the Mormon Tabernacle Choir lined up on my bed, all their heads in unison, and they're watching this bat fly around the room. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is you got into the worst house ever, bat.
So these birds used to fly into my garage every time I would open up the garage door, and we actually talked about it on the air a couple of years ago. But some bird expert had emailed me or called in, and remember they said that it's like this is their nesting time. Like now is when I guess they're creating and building their nest. So that's what they're trying to do. And
so
that's
their
why
inclination is to fly into.
That's why they're trying to get into our garages or into the house or whatever.
Yeah, we have no idea how this bird ended up in our house. I don't know at what point the doors were open, or we
was it hiding behind the succulent?
We leave our back door open
for
wide for the dogs to go in and out. So maybe
it had to have been.
I don't really know, but somebody texted in and said, "Here's a tip: if you smash out all the windows in the house, the bird will eventually."
That's
just keep chairs by every window to throw them through.
Yeah. Let me see here. I'm going to go to Chris next. Hi, Chris. Morning.
Good morning.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Good. So I used to catch them for a living.
God.
He's got bird stories, Chris.
Yeah.
What did you do with birds?
So we used to catch them with really fine nets. You'd hang them by magnets off the rafters inside Lowe's, Depot, Target, Walmart.
So you would come in and do this. You were hired to do this.
Yeah. Yes, my brother still does it for a living. My brother still owns his own business doing it.
So let me ask you, Chris, that is the exact focus of the business, is to capture birds that get into businesses?
That, and they put what you call bird nets up on the canopies and stuff so the birds can't roost on the canopies.
Okay, so how often are you working, with this sort of thing? How often are you being called to places to get rid of birds?
It was a lot years ago. We
Yeah.
used to do it for all the Lowe's, all the Walmarts, all the Targets.
Yeah, the Lowe's.
We used to go to BJ's, Sam's Clubs, malls, all different malls of call and
Yeah, because if you stop and think of like Lowe's or BJ's, those doors are open all the time.
Well, the birds fly by and actually set the sensors off to open up the doors.
Are you kidding?
Now, if you pay attention, you'll see a bird fly past the sensor, and once the bird flies past, 3 more will fly in.
Are they teaming up?
I watch it all the time.
Well, the savings are unbeatable.
Yeah, group savings.
Yeah.
You got to see the size of the birdseed bags in this place.
All right, so Chris, you guys would set up these nets, and would they would trap the birds?
So
You'd come back like a cut.
You would chase them.
Oh,
Yeah, we would stay there. We would set them up and stay there.
And you
chase them with lasers.
You would chase them
And
with
they'd fly right through the
lasers?
net. Yep. Birds don't like the way called the light.
Wow.
All right.
And so you had nets on magnets, correct?
Yeah.
So
it's like a really fine net. It's not a heavy net like a fishing net.
So the bird flies into the net, and does that pull the magnets off? All right.
Yes.
Wait, so what do you use the lasers for?
To fry them.
To chase them away. So if they were sitting somewhere and you want to chase them somewhere else, you just shine the light near them and they take off running.
So you shine the laser at the birds, and then that makes them fly away?
Pew, pew. Yes.
Wow.
So I never thought about that. So if you had a bird in your house and you have like a pen laser, like a laser pointer, would that work?
Yeah, you'll probably give a bird a heart attack if it's in your house.
No, I don't want to do that.
It has nowhere to really go. But closing all the windows and all that, being black and leaving one open, it doesn't always work like that.
Yeah, and you couldn't do that in a Lowe's.
No, you couldn't do it in a house either because the birds they're not going to sit there and look for that.
All right.
Okay.
Their whole thing to do is what they're going to do in a house is they're going to try to find any window they can to go out.
Right. Yeah, that's the one that was in there on Sunday was he kept flying into the windows.
It's sad.
Yeah.
And we just had to usher him out of one in particular.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was a full occupation. I thought, who would you call? But there you go. You guys do it for a living.
Yeah, my brother still does it for a living.
All right.
What's the name of his company, Chris?
What do you call it? Unique Services.
Unique.
There's There's multiple companies that actually do this, believe it or not.
Really? Okay, I never heard about this, but so thank you for answering a question. I never
appreciate it,
realized there was
man.
an industry. Yeah.
All right, hang on a second. I want to go to Chris. Hey, Chris. Good morning.
Yo.
What's up,
Good
bud?
morning.
Hey.
Hey, so the only thing worse than a bee in your car is a bird.
So you've had it in your car.
It's my work truck. Like I had stopped at a job. I hopped out, left the door open to get something at this house, and I hop back in. I'm driving from Drexel Hill and hopping on 476, and with the work truck and the tools and stuff in it's a van, so stuff rattling around doesn't make it, doesn't bother me or I don't notice anything. And all of a sudden, this bird comes flying up from the back of the van and gets stuck in the vent of my dashboard, my defroster vent.
It got stuck in your defroster vent?
Like it came flying up, and he was just stuck in the windshield and the dashboard. And then, I'm trying to get my window down. I'm driving on 476, swerving all over the place. So, you won't get stung like a bee would, but he will crap all over your dashboard and seats.
How big was the bird?
It was just like a robin or something, but it was scary enough that, freaking out driving down.
Well, yeah. I mean, the thing's flapping its wings around. It can fly up and hit you in the face, and then the next thing you know, you're wrecking your car, So I totally get it.
And what if it has rabies? Was it foaming at the beak?
Rabid birds. All right. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate it.
I think I'd freak the hell out if I had a bird. Yeah.
I can't believe he kept driving.
Yeah.
Well, he was on the highway.
I guess, but I think
you might pull
I would
over.
want to pull over, yeah.
Yeah. Don't they have special sections for birds?
Right, yeah, like the bird lot.
Let me go to Fred. We're gonna move up from birds. Hi, Fred. Good morning.
How are you?
Good. What's up, buddy?
So I was a kid in the late 70s. We were watching The Wonderful World of Disney. We had a fire in the fireplace. A squirrel came down the fireplace and ran into our living room.
So how does it come?
Not like
you had a fire going?
Yes, and his tail was not an inferno, but it was on fire and smoke.
Oh my God!
You had a burning squirrel running around your house.
Yes.
Jesus.
So my mom was screaming. I thought it was pretty cool. We immediately, my mom yelled, "Close the door to the upstairs," so he doesn't go upstairs. My dad got a broom. I think I got a yardstick. I didn't have anything. We were trying
to see how big it was.
Yeah.
And to try to not, so we'd have to touch it. So we eventually we had a screen door in our living room where our deck was. We opened that, and after probably 5 or 10 minutes, we finally got him out of the house.
Were you able to get its tail out? To put the fire out?
Well, no, there wasn't a fire in the house. It's the squirrel was on fire.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yes.
I would imagine he wasn't like actively lit up, spreading flames all over the house, right?
I mean,
no. It was just barely. It was just, you could see it was
just smoldering. Okay.
Like it was
all
just
right.
Like you could see it wasn't like an inferno.
Not your classic burning squirrel.
You could see his tail just singed up like as if you threw it.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So I thought you had like a flare with legs running around your house.
No.
All right.
And then after the squirrel went outside, it was on the deck until the next day. Like it didn't move.
Oh. Because it was dead.
Until we picked it up.
Hey, it's asleep.
I love it. It's a great story. Thank you, Fred. Appreciate it. Hang on. I'm going to go back to people who catch these birds indoors for a living. I have Lauren on the line. Lauren, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good. What's up, Lauren?
Yeah, so to go off of the one, Chris, I also work for a facility maintenance company that does bird control. We do a lot with the airport. So we've gone to Costco and sat up in the rafters and just waited for birds and then caught them in nets. We've gone into banks to catch birds.
Wow.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. So
Lauren,
netting.
How many businesses like yours exist?
There's quite a few in the area. When I started working, I was not privy to this industry. And then I'm almost 4 years into it, and you would be surprised how many actual companies that are in the area that do things like this. We do more customer, business-based as opposed to houses. But we've gone to the casinos. We've gone in like those lines, the fishing wire kind of lines.
Yeah.
We've put those up all over the boardwalks. But yeah, so it's a big and profitable business. You would be surprised.
Lauren, question about with the airport and bird control. Is that all indoors, or do you guys work on keeping them out of the way of the runways and stuff like that?
Yeah, so So we do all. So we're on both departures and arrivals road all the time. All of that netting that you might see, any of those plastic spikes that you see up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've done most of that work. We'll be at the airport this week doing some work. So yeah, we also go and all of that bird shit that you see.
Stuff.
We can't say that, but yeah. By
It's
the
a
way,
technical term.
in Florida, around all the resorts and stuff like that, you will see the fishing wire strung up all over the place.
Yep.
That keeps birds out of restaurant areas and out of their pool areas and stuff like that. So you guys rig up things like that.
I was just in Florida, Disney World, and they do a fantastic job making sure most of the time that the birds, the flying birds, are kept away. But those ducks, they can be a little.
Those son of a bitches, those ducks. When I was in Europe, I noticed that there was a ton of, you're dealing with these incredibly storied buildings and architecture and statues that had, it appeared like state-of-the-art stuff to keep the birds from crapping all over them. So, I guess it's a science unto itself.
Yeah, and matter of fact, too, is you wouldn't think this, but bird droppings, they can cause a lot of harm to materials because of the acid in it.
Yeah.
So, and then just breathing it in can cause a lot of harm,
I think
too.
about it.
Yeah.
Kathy thinks about that type of thing. Yes.
Kathy has a little atomizer
right.
that has bird crap in it, and she has to decide whether or not to spray it on every morning.
Yeah, no, I mean, and then, so spray, if you ever come across that, maybe in your backyard.
Don't smell
spray
bird
that
crap.
down.
Yeah.
Yep, spray it down as best as you can with just water, and then clean it up.
Okay.
Because if you just try and pressure clean that, or, just clean it up with a hose itself, you're going to cause damage to the ground. It's going to get real acidy. So, yeah, definitely spray it down, let it sit, and then wash it
I
off.
didn't realize that
Wow.
because the
All
bitch of
right.
it is it tastes so damn good.
Oh my God.
Excellent. All right. Thank you, Lauren. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good one, guys.
All right, you too. All right, hang on a second. I want to go to Ed here quickly. Ed, you are on the air, bud. Good morning.
Hey, guys. Good morning. First of all, real quick, Steve, I had the same situation. We used to foster cats before we had kids.
Right.
At one point, we had 17 cats in our house.
Oh my God.
When a bird got in.
Yeah. It's
And
like you got in the wrong house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I used to work for 84 Lumber, and I don't know if you guys ever been to one, but there's no heat and air conditioning. It's basically one giant open. We have these big doors on the side where we bring the stuff in and out. So it's a big 20 by 20 door. We don't get the birds in constantly, so they constantly be in and out, like making nests in the material in the roof,
Right.
or in the ceiling. And what would eventually happen was we were down in South Jersey, so the hawks would find where the birds were. So the hawks would come in, and then they would chase them around the warehouse. And then, as a matter of fact, my assistant manager once got buzzed by one of these hawks, like literally within inches, just flew right by his head. And they would basically eat them or chase them out or whatever. And then the hawks would go, oh, well, there's no more food. So they would leave. The birds would come back. And then they would draw the hawks back in. So it was like a whole cycle through every year, like every 6 months.
So you're saying you would have hawks attacking birds inside your building?
Yeah.
Steve, and that's when they brought in the bobcat to attack the hawks.
And then the elephant to stop the bobcat, and then they brought a mouse in to scare the elephant away.
It was just this weird cycle of little birds in, hawks would come in. All the little birds would either eaten or run. Hawks would leave. Birds would come back.
Dude, and when
hawks would come back. It was so funny.
Yeah, when a hawk, you must have seen lots because they leave all sorts of viscera and they massacre them.
Oh yeah.
Oh well, bird droppings in our warehouse was ridiculous. It was so hard to, especially some of the higher up shelves with the stuff we didn't like, we didn't get to very often or sell very much of. The storage stuff like that would be, there was bird droppings everywhere we would deal with. And then the other funny thing was that we had like some windows like by the front counter, and the birds would do the same thing. Like we would hear, oof, and look over, and there's this little starling or whatever
Jesus
sitting.
Christ.
Either sometimes they would end up killing themselves, and sometimes they would just literally knock themselves unconscious for a few seconds, and it'd be funny to watch them come to and then fly away.
Yeah, what the hell was that?
You're just passing
It
by.
was entertaining, to say the least.
All right, thanks, man. Appreciate it. All right, we'll see ya. Let me see here. All right, hang on. Let me go to Samantha. We'll take a couple more calls real quick here. Hi, Samantha. Morning.
Hi, good morning.
Hey,
How
what's
are
up?
you?
We're good. What do you want to share with us?
So I have two stories. In my parents' house, my room was the attic, and there were crawl spaces to access the air conditioner. So one day, my brother is home. The house is being painted. He had made some food, left it on the table, and the painter comes up and knocks on his bedroom door and says, "Do you have a pet squirrel?" And he's like, "No." So that's great. So the squirrel was on the kitchen table eating what my brother had left behind. Thank God the dog was upstairs in my brother's bedroom with him at the time, because that would have been great.
Yeah, bloody.
So we called animal control. Eventually, we got him. But he come in through the access panel that was in my bedroom. I wasn't home at the time, thank God. And then the other story, we had a bat. I was in bed, and it was later in the evening. I kind of had the lights down, and all of a sudden, I just see something just fly out from the corner of my eye.
Yeah.
And I just scream bloody murder, and we find out that it was a bat. We sent my dad upstairs with like a broom and a basket, and kind of like
Standard equipment. Yeah.
Yes, kind of like
football helmet.
Yeah, tennis racket.
Yeah.
Yes, and eventually we did get him. He threw a shoe across the room and
The
nailed
bat?
him. Yes.
Okay, yeah. So how long did it take to get him out of the house?
A solid 45 minutes.
Wow.
So you got off lightly, Preston.
Oh, yeah, we got real lucky, without question.
Yeah, no, it's wild because they will find, like, for example, in a house, bats specifically, the vents on the side of your house, anywhere. In fact, they're attracted to like a slot, almost like a mail slot. That's what they look for.
Well, how long do you have an animal stuck in your house before you just go, I guess this animal lives here now?
Yeah, this is our new roomie.
That's Bebo, the squirrel.
I would imagine, Case, the better part of a day.
Yeah.
After that.
All right, I guess we have a squirrel living in the house now.
Yeah.
This is Biffy the bat.
Yeah.
Remember the possum that crapped all over my parents' bathroom?
Your parents were unaware that they were actually feeding a possum.
The cats were losing.
weeks.
The cats were losing weight. They were like, "Oh, I think they're getting old. They're probably on their way out." No, the possum was eating every last bit of their food.
Oh my God!
But your possum is incredibly fat.
And then my dad, we had a friend of my brother's was staying in, living with my parents at the time, and my dad blamed him for the poop that was smeared all over my mom was like, "You think Mike smeared crap all over the bathroom walls?"
Well, we did get off quite lucky. The bird was out within 10 minutes, so that was an easy one. I thought for sure it was going to be
not attacked.
A better part of a day. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen. Thank you for the calls. We do appreciate it. I didn't know that about the bird catching industry.
I had no idea because I always just thought, oh well, it'll get out when it gets out.
No. All right, we're gonna break. We're gonna come back when we return. Bizarre file stories, aplenty from the weekend to share with you. A little later on this morning, our good friend Greg Murphy. We're gonna talk Phils with him. So let's hang out together. We'll be right back.
I love him, but I hate him. But he there was an outbreak of it in college.
Is this guy an Elvis impersonator by any chance?
No. But he was at the Nationals game last night. But he was in college. He got scabies, and he got it through sexual contact. And so we would make fun of him incessantly afterwards. And the way that we'd make fun of him was just by saying scabies every time we would walk by. But yeah, he got it through sexual contact with a very dirty girl.
Okay, all right. By the way, Steve, you mentioned scurvy. Scurvy, I read the other day, is making a comeback.
Of course.
Hey,
it's all the rage.
Because of like fasting diets and things like that.
Oh,
People
that's
are not,
awesome.
They're not getting the vitamin C that they need, I guess.
We thought we'd missed out on it, Preston, because we weren't able to take the trip to the New World.
Yeah, it's a vitamin C deficiency, and it can make you really, really sick.
Like fruit and stuff like that was how you fought it, right?
Yep.
And leprosy, we learned, is making a comeback.
That's where the term limeys came from, is when the English would travel, they would load up all these limes to try and keep scurvy away. Hang on a second. Maddie has scabies, and Kathy's going to leave the room now. She doesn't even want to be on the phone with somebody with scabies. Hey, how you doing, Maddie?
Good. I had scabies.
Oh, okay. Right. Oh, it says actually has scabies.
Yes,
okay.
I had scabies, and it was horrible. I think I got it on the Appalachian Trail because there was no STD thing going on.
Yep. Okay. So it's interesting that you mentioned that, and that's possibly where this particular outbreak came from. But I'll get into those details in a moment. How bad did it get for you?
It was horrible, dude. Every fold in your skin on your body they burrow into and they lay eggs. And there's these little tunnels. It's horrible. And
You're laughing as you're talking about scabies tunnels.
yes,
Yeah.
these tunnels. They're like under your skin, like in your knuckles and the creases of your finger.
Die.
So Maddie,
in your junk too.
in your junk. Okay, we're looking at a picture. You're right, Maddie. It says skin condition caused by burrowing mite.
And they lay the eggs in there, yeah.
They lay the eggs. It was horrible. They gave me this poison that I had to rub all over my body.
Yep.
And I had to wait like an hour and let it like seep in. And then blistering caused. There's like blistering afterwards.
Maddie, let me ask you: did they make the trip down to your junk? Did you have it around that region?
They were anywhere there's a fold or a crease. There is burrowing mite.
And not for anything. Go ahead.
Here's the reason why it spreads like that. The incubation period is like 2 to 6 weeks.
Oh my God!
Before the itching even occurs, so it gets all over your body. These
And you
things,
don't know yet?
And like you said, Maddie, listen. It says the doctor in this story said you apply this cream. It's a topical prescription from scalp to toes. Every part of the body.
Everywhere, and it burns.
And then you have to sleep overnight with it on. They said it needs to be on for 8 to 10 hours for it to work properly. Yeah.
Do you have to put it in the butthole?
Oh my God.
You put it everywhere, Preston.
Okay.
Thank you for clearing your throat.
Do you have to put it butthole?
No, I'm a 40-year-old man, and I had it when I was like 30, and I had to have my mother rub the cream on my back.
Well, you didn't have to.
Yeah, I would have.
Mommy, can you
like, who else am I going to ask?
I don't know.
Thanks, Maddie. I appreciate it.
Maybe like a girlfriend or wife.
Somebody who could put it in your
mother. I have to go over to my 30-year-old single son and rub ointment in his ass.
That is horrifying.
Yeah, that's nasty.
I did not realize the burrowing was an issue. That that adds a whole other realm of hell to it. I always thought it was a slightly bit more benign, but it does sound very similar to genital crabs.
So they said the outbreak was caused by a camping trip that some of the students attended.
Oh, they went to Whore Island.
The doctor said they all hung out together, which is the typical story for scabies. Some of the kids, we did see a few of them, and that, that most likely it was just because they were all in close contact with each other. They were camping.
Oh, yeah.
And that's when the whores come in.
It's true. So sleeping bags and things of that nature and camping tents, it's a confined space.
I've had a few texts come in, and also it looked like a call had been up as well. Were you guys familiar with chiggers?
Yeah. Chiggers, yes.
Yeah. Growing up I lived in the South for a little while, and we would always warn about, those look like chigger bites. Which were painful. I mean, because you could scratch them until they bled almost. I mean, as a kid, I was just itch so much you wouldn't stop scratching.
That's why that park went out of business at Chiggerland.
Yeah, no, that's Digger World.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're thinking of. But anyhow, I don't know if they're the same.
They're related, I guess.
Are they?
Yeah, they're also mites. They're just different kind of mites.
Chiggers, I always assumed were a little bit bigger.
I don't know. Mites, I guess, you can't really see them.
No, these ones are called trombiculid mites.
Okay.
Which are different than the scabies mites.
By the way, there are little creatures all over your body all the time, Kathy.
I
right?
plan on it.
Oh, stop it.
Like in your hair follicles?
Constantly. Crawling in and out of all sorts of orifices.
No, not mine.
And then, of course, they have to defecate.
Right. Oh, my God. I mean, they are alive.
I mean, and so all over your body, there's little recesses where they're crapping.
All right.
And then having sex.
Interesting.
In your own body.
Growing up, my dogs would get fleas all the time.
Yeah.
And it's never been an issue.
That's sleeping with dirty dogs.
No, but I mean, it's kind of an invasive species.
It's incredibly invasive.
And
once you get it in the house,
we had to have our house bombed a couple of times. And because, my one dog, he would just kind of like hop the fence and run the neighborhood. So I don't know where you pick up fleas. Where do you?
Anywhere.
Any street corner.
Yeah.
You should dress like slutty.
Nothing quite like Scabby Welts, man.
Yeah.
That's
the old bluegrass singer.
His name is Scabby Welts, and he sold more records in Pakistan than Slim Whitman. Hi, I'm Scabby Welts. It's great here to provide you folks with music. Music that'll make you want to scratch.
He and Boxcar Willie went out on tour together. So,
But he died of scratching himself to death.
Yeah. Scabby Welds. You remember Scabby?
Yeah.
From the good old days.
Order now and get a second collection from Pussy Fistula.
Oh, my God.
Let's see if we can get an answer to our stupid question. Wow. I don't know who's on the phone. I don't know what they have to say. So I think our phone screener's messed up here. So
This is Guess the Caller Wednesdays, Preston. It's a new thing.
Okay. Hang on now. My phone lines aren't even lit up. I gotta.
Okay.
Casey has to do what's called retake the board.
You need a gun?
No, it's a little step process where he has to hit a few buttons. And can I try it?
Go for
All right,
it.
let me see here.
For it.
No, that doesn't work. It doesn't work. So now he's got to do
Is
this.
this because of cleaning?
Of course it is.
Oh, it is.
You touched something.
I didn't do the board.
Try now, bro.
All right. Hi. No. It shows that somebody has them on the line right now.
Did Bill Weston do the board?
No,
Hey, Casey,
Robin did the board.
Can you talk to them through that?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, Casey's going to interpret. Ask the person who's on the phone.
Hey, WMMR, who's this? John, how you doing, bro? What's your
All right.
answer, man? What's the question?
Ask John. So the angles in a triangle add up to how many degrees?
Yeah, how many degrees, bro?
Bro.
He says 180. Is that right?
John's right.
Wait, hold the earpiece up to the microphone.
Yeah, let's see if we can hear this.
All right.
Hey, wait. I got to wait for the bells and
No,
whistles.
you'd have to put the other one so we could hear him.
Yeah, this one. Yeah, there you go. Hey, John, can you hear me? No, Casey, there. Jesus. Let me try this again. John, can you hear me? John, say something. Can you hear me? No, we can't hear him. Okay. Casey's actually holding the handset up to the microphone.
He was talking. John, can you hear
I know,
him?
but we can't. The mic.
Yeah.
Just barely.
By the way, I think he said his
Barely.
name is Ken.
Now, is this John or Ken? He did say Ken.
That's why I wasn't answering.
All right, listen, Ken. Sammy's got to go.
We gotta go. You won.
Oh, dear God.
Wow.
All right.
Give him this goddamn prize.
So the answer is 180 degrees.
All right.
I think we have it. I think it's
I have
fixed
no
now.
empathy.
Hold
I
on.
have no
Wait. No, it's not. I just hit the button and nothing happened.
It's not.
That sucks. It's not working, Case.
Great.
We were going to play the whoosh.
Oh, jeez.
Nothing is working.
How did they clean the board with a hammer?
No, we use Q-tips.
Q-tips attached
We
to hammers?
specifically didn't hit any buttons or unplug anything.
Or you did.
Or it
push
did.
buttons
You totally did.
and had lesbian love on the board.
Casey's trying to fix this so that we can hear that wonderful sound effect, but it's going to take a little while, so I'll move on.
I bet you other shows can play woot woot.
Okay, now the board just disappeared on me.
Everything's shut down.
I wonder if we're even on the air.
Are we on the air right now?
Oh, no.
Marissa, can you go into the other room and just kind of give us a thumbs up? Let us know if you can hear us on the.
I think things would sound different
On the radio
in our
waves?
headphones if we
Well,
were
this is
on
the
air.
longest emergency broadcasting of all time.
Right. It's literally the board, which is normally lit up with all kinds of crazy
Okay.
blinking lights, is now dead. All right, now it came back on. All right.
Yeah.
Yep, we're good to go.
Marissa says yes.
We're still on the air. Congratulations, guys. We were talking earlier about the three women behind home plate at the World Series, flashing their bibbies. By the way, did that make it on national television?
yeah.
It did, yes.
I
Clearly.
don't care about the World Series right now. So.
There was no mistaking it, and I find myself watching behind home plate a lot. I don't know
I always
why,
do
but
too,
I get
yeah.
distracted by it, and then you saw this coming on, and it was one of those things where the instant reaction was, "Wait, did I just see what I think I just saw?" Yeah,
Right.
Are the mooning and the pressed ham as big anymore?
I mooned somebody last week.
You did last week?
Yeah.
I didn't.
I was going to Preston, but I didn't want to. It was down the hall at the other studio.
I didn't see.
Wait, our own coworkers?
Yeah.
I didn't see bare ass yesterday, but I did see a man spread his butt cheeks on the streets of Philadelphia.
What?
Why?
So we were at Steven Singer Jewelers, and we were walking over there, and somebody had pulled over to it was at right at 8th and Walnut, insanely busy there. Okay, so this person had parked his car in a non-parking spot too close to the corner. A city bus is making the turn. The car's parked where it shouldn't be, so the bus can't make the turn. The car is in the way. So the bus driver starts leaning on the horn. Well, the guy who had parked the car happened to be standing right there, and he didn't like that. And he starts flipping off the bus driver. Meanwhile, everybody else is honking their horn, going, dude, move your car, move your car. And the guy bends over, spreads his butt cheeks, I got video. I took video after it.
Did he drop trow?
No, he didn't. He didn't, but he wanted to. He was pointing to his ass and spreading his butt cheeks.
Was he like, "Excuse me, may I ask you a few questions?"
No, but he was spreading his butt cheeks and pointing to it. So it wasn't a full-on moon, and it wasn't pressed ham, but it was
still
very entertaining.
Yeah.
So this chick is winning.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's talking about
Are you kidding me? Yeah, done deal. Yeah, of course. But she was winning when God gave her a DNA structure that ended up working out nicely.
But this strategy has worked.
Yeah. So the thing is what do you do next? What's how do you top that?
I think you try to become a Supreme Court judge.
Maybe you do that.
All right, guys. When's the next game? Is it tonight?
Yep.
All right.
You going to do it, Case?
Preston Steve butt plug. Behind home plate. What do you think? Do you think that'll get us some?
What do you mean?
If I put a butt plug in and I moon the camera and it says Preston and Steve on it.
I didn't know.
I thought this was a charity thing.
I thought it was a charity event.
I thought he was talking about promoting a charity.
All right, I'll put a can of something up there instead.
Yeah. Well,
It'll be the Camp Out for Hunger.
We say butt plug all the time.
How about inserting a mag light?
Yeah.
I didn't know you were going actual butt plug.
No, is it Preston Steve butt? Yeah, I guess you're. No.
There's a fan there putting a full police mag light into his butt.
You know, the game sure has changed, Ralph.
It's for breast cancer.
Yeah.
You got to get to Houston tonight, Case. It's not in D.C. Sorry.
Yeah. Houston, maybe.
Well, you see, D.C. would have been doable.
Right. All right. How much for a
D.C. was viable, but Houston seems extraordinarily difficult.
Wait, what did you say? How much for a mag light?
No. How much? I may have said that. How much? No. For behind the home plate.
Oh,
seats.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yes, do you carry full-size mag lights like the police use? It's for my butt.
You check that, or you buy it when you get to Houston? Like
you can buy that when you get to Houston.
What's that?
Yeah.
Oh, it's for breast cancer month.
Yeah. Wow.
No, I would do it for Camp Out for Hunger. I mean,
There you go.
That is the obvious.
Bill Abundance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that way, the next time we're up at the award show in Washington.
Right. They remember they play little clips.
I'm Kelly Ripa, and everyone was moved to tears when Casey put a mag light in his butt.
Wow.
And said, F hunger in the butt.
Those inspiring words are now etched on marble.
That's the statement trying to be made.
Yeah.
F hunger in the
F
butt.
hunger in the butt. Camp out.
Can't wait to see those signs this year.
Oh my God, no.
No, you can't. It's offended.
Have your son or daughter.
Yeah.
Camp out for hunger. Let's circle back to the royal family for just a moment. Kate Middleton and Prince William discussed marriage while they were dating in order to take the pressure off of themselves and make sure they wanted to spend the rest of their lives together. In Royal Correspondent Katie Nichols' new book, Kate, the Future Queen, she writes, there on the Paradise Island, William promised Kate that he was in the relationship for the long term. For the very first time, they talked seriously about marriage, and with the ocean before them and beneath the night sky, they made a pact to marry.
My dearest Kate, I love you.
What island were they on? Does it say?
It says the Paradise Island. I don't know if that means Paradise Island in the Bahamas or not.
Yeah, they went to like a Club Med thing.
Yeah.
Unlimited drinks and you don't have to tip.
93.3 WMMR.
All right, thanks, Kath, for getting to the B-File. A real quick plug-a-rooney. I got an email. This was from Skeeter.
Skeeter?
Yeah, Skeeter reached out to me. Skeeter Seifert, and wanted to mention the Power 5K run and 1 mile walk, which is coming up this Sunday at 9 a.m., and it benefits the Parkinson's Connection program. And let's see, with CATS JCC. So this is cool. She said that we have classes like yoga, spinning, boxing, martial arts, and tons of other programs that help them fight the symptoms of the disease while building strength, confidence, and gives them a community of support as they walk through their journey. And we have offer support groups for help and family members of those who are affected by Parkinson's. So it is taking place in Cherry Hill, and I have a link to this. I sent it over to you, Nick. I don't know if you had a chance to post it or not.
Not yet, but I will.
But it's the Catch JCC Power 5K 1 mile and walk for Parkinson's. So we'll post that information up. And if it sounds like something you want to be a part of, in a little bit, just check the community portion of PrestonandSteve.com, as you'll find all kinds of great events. And this is the time of year a lot of really cool outdoor events
Ton
are
of
taking
stuff.
place.
Yeah, and you can go do something you're probably going to do anyway in support of charity.
Yeah, definitely. So take a look when you get a chance. And thank you, Skeeter. Appreciate it. All right, let's do the B5.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
All right, it's brought to you by Pro Team Collision, your certified collision repair center. If you get into an accident, Pro Team Collision is there for all of your auto body repair needs. I'm going to start with this story. If never forgetting was an award, this woman won it. A Dallas woman sabotaged a man for 15 years by ruining his favorite TV shows, and she claims his engagement after he wronged her friend one night back in college.
That's pretty elaborate.
This is a long-term revenge program that she had. In a TikTok video titled, "This is Genuinely Unhinged," Linda Solly Hurd recalled the night that she was enjoying her night out with friends at a comedy show when one of her friends mistakenly knocked over a drink onto a man's lap. Hurd said the man was so furious that he spit on her friend, calling the woman a stupid fat bitch. Hurd said, "I'm screaming in this guy's face. That's assault. You're disgusting. You're trash." And he calls me an ugly bitch. We move on with our night, and we do not move on with our lives, she said. Certainly not forgiving or forgetting. She tracked down the man's Facebook, where she noticed he was a massive fan of Breaking Bad and The Walking Dead. I don't know how she got his name, but somehow or another she did.
All right.
Feeling vengeful, she cleverly created fake Facebook accounts to spoil episodes on a weekly basis for both shows through direct messages. And this was back, she said, when shows were airing on TV. You get one a week, so you would do anything to avoid a spoiler. She said, "I went and I searched for all the spoilers. I go on Reddit. I get on all the forums, everything." She said the man tried to block every single fake account she made, but she just kept creating more and spoiling his television fun. She said, "I did that for a couple of months, and then I was over the grudge." Hurd then revealed the man ended up in her political science class, which afforded her another opportunity to continue her scheme. She said he is a devil's advocate for everything. Every trash opinion you can have, he has it. She said one day he was firing up his PowerPoint to the projector for a class project, and I saw his tab in his laptop right before it fires up with a little username. Thanks to her spying, she was able to track down the young man's Reddit account, she claims, and she then spammed him with more spoilers, but then gave it a break. Hurd briefly retired from her vengeful fun, didn't bother the man for almost a decade until a mutual Facebook friend announced her engagement to the man. She said, "I found out they were engaged when they were pretty close to the wedding, and I was like, I haven't thought of this guy in so long." She said, "So I looked up his Reddit to see if he's still using it." She rushed to the man's Reddit account to see that he had been up to what he was up to all these years and discovered what she called some sinister things. She said, "I saw some pretty sinister stuff on Reddit. There are pictures that he's passing off as her, his fiance. And if it was your partner, you'd want to know," she said. So she said she signed into one of the unused Facebook accounts and messaged the man's Reddit post to his then fiance. Hurd said the woman broke off the engagement after sending her a few of the sinister Reddit posts, and she is remarried with children. She said, "The last time I checked, I saw her. She's got beautiful children and a thriving business and seems to have a happy marriage."
Seems to, right?
So I don't know what ended up happening with the guy. Yeah, well,
Right.
she's with somebody else. She didn't end up with that guy. But nonetheless, she never gave up. Well, she stopped for a while, and then she saw that the guy was still being a douchebag. So
just incredibly elaborate.
She went after him. Yeah, absolutely. All right, this is pretty wild, especially the pictures of it. Construction workers were left dangling helplessly from an office building after scaffolding collapsed. They were left 500 feet in the air on the high-rise building development in Sao Paulo, Brazil earlier this week. A person died during the incident, but it's not known whether they were struck by debris or if they fell. The other workers left dangling were later rescued by an on-site crane. The pictures of them, they're literally hanging on these poles.
Yeah.
Like 500 feet in the air.
You just want to die.
Yeah. Police dispatched a helicopter to the scene, and 10 fire engines.
We can't help you.
Were also sent. An eyewitness said that the trapped workers were rescued after a few minutes. They said the noise was very loud. A lot of things fell. The structure came down. We couldn't see where the debris fell because it was inside the construction site. Authorities are investigating the case.
I mean, first off, you're not working up there if you're not good with heights, but I don't care how good you are. You're going to crap yourself.
Yeah, look at these. We're looking at pictures right now. That is, yeah. Now, they have safety harnesses, I guess, but it's insane. They're 500 feet in the air. A homeowner is mulling the next step after a company mistakenly demolished a home she owned in southwest Atlanta.
Sorry about that.
Susan Hodgson said that she found a pile of rubble in place of what used to be her longtime family property when she returned from vacation last month. She said, I keep waking up thinking is this all a joke or something? I'm just in shock. She said a neighbor called her while she was away and asked if someone had been hired to tear down the vacant house. And she said, I said, no. And she said, well, there's somebody over here who just demolished the whole house and tore it all down.
Jeez.
When the neighbors confronted them, Hodgson said the workers got nasty. She said he told her to shut up and mind her own business.
Shut up.
She sent a family member over to see what was going on, who asked to see a permit. When a person in charge at the site checked his permit, Hodgson said he admitted he was at the wrong address.
It was a 6, not a 9.
Hodgson said that she filed a report with police and has talked with lawyers, but that they remain in limbo so far. To this day, she said the Atlanta-based company responsible, called You Call It, We Haul It, has yet to contact her. Said it's hard to believe someone thinks that they have the right to just come up here, tear something up, and walk away from it, and didn't come back to say, I'm sorry. What do I need to do to fix this? It was an accident, and they didn't give me nothing, she said.
Didn't give them nothing. They hired a lawyer whose slogan is, you screw it, we sue it.
So I don't know if there'll be any resolution to this or not.
Could you imagine having your entire home just demolished?
No. All right, and then finally, this is a great story. An alleged thief found a clever way to hide from authorities in Poland, posing in a store window as a mannequin. A 22-year-old with a bag in his hand froze motionless, pretending to be a mannequin in front of a shop window, police said. They said in this way, he wanted to avoid being exposed by the cameras. The thief posed until the store closed. Once the last customer had left and the mall doors were secure, the man broke from his stance and robbed a jewelry stand.
The mannequin came alive. I'm in love.
He stood there all day. Yes, right.
And you can build it.
Authorities said that the thief came back for round 2 on another occasion. They said this time he ate his fill at one of the food stations before stealing a new outfit.
Just like a bird in a Costco.
Afterward, he returned to have some more food. Polish authorities said that eventually the man's luck ran out and he was noticed by mall security guards and he was arrested, and police said that he could face up to 10 years in prison, by the way. Okay, in that movie, Mannequin, she was like an Egyptian princess.
Yes, right.
Or something like that.
That's
it was
yeah.
Kim Cattrall.
Right.
And she was cursed and had to remain motionless, or who knows. But it was the Wanamaker Building.
It was the Wanamaker Building right here in Philadelphia.
That's where they did it. Yeah. All right, and there you go. That's what I have in the bizarre file for you this morning. All right, I got something for you to win. I have a pair of passes for an advanced screening of Five Nights at Freddy's, and it's going to be on Wednesday night, AMC Cherry Hill. We will take caller number 17 at 215-263-WMMR. You can go to WMMR.com for more chances to win tickets. Entry deadline is today at 11 a.m., by the way. But this Halloween, when the night shift starts, the nightmare begins. It's from Blumhouse. And producer of Megan, by the way, and Universal Pictures presents Five Nights at Freddy's, rated PG-13 in theaters and on Peacock on October 27th. So we'll take the 17th caller, 215-263-WMMR, and we will give you those tickets. We're going to take a quick break, come back in a moment. A little later on, Greg Murphy jumping on, talk about the Phils. We'll be back in just a sec. Hang out.
I can't get enough of Buster Poindexter.
They played a hot. Everywhere you go.
It's like Marley in Jamaica.
Hey. Totally. Oh, my God. He's walking. He's got 2 drinks with the little umbrellas in his hand. Do a little sachet.
ID.
As the music's playing.
More jerk chicken, please.
The pair did
They
split.
call it oatmeal, but it tastes like tapioca.
The pair did split temporarily after they made that pact, but all's well that ends well. Of course, they got married in 2011. They have 3 kids, and it's a wonderful, beautiful relationship.
Yeah, I like her a lot.
Speaking of beautiful relationships, Amy Schumer and Chris Fisher shocked many when they got married in a secret beach ceremony 2 years ago. But ever since, the pair have turned into couples goals for many. She posted a tribute to him, acknowledging what has changed and what hasn't since welcoming a baby together. She wrote, but before we had our little babe, it was just us. I love Chris so much. I hope whoever you are with is so kind to you and also drives you. Oh, I hope whoever you are with. Is there some of the shut up? Just improv that you have been known to, become to known as? I haven't heard that in a while.
It's been a while.
No, I hope whoever you are with.
Yes, is there some of the improv that you have been come to known as?
From Touchstone Pictures, The King's Speech 2.
Is there some of the improv that you have been come to known as?
Oh my God. Oh. I love that idea. I absolutely love that idea. Pregnant Meghan Markle's sartorial choices.
Yes.
These are clothes?
Clothing, yes.
Okay, sartorial.
It's what she likes to eat at the food court.
Oh, okay. No. Frequently give fans a double take, generally for their stunning elegance. But some are wagging their fingers at the Duchess of Sussex for the skirt that she chose to wear on the final ever royal tour of New Zealand, Fiji, and so on.
It was a full cooter shot.
Well,
it was up above her waist.
No, it wasn't. She paired a stunning royal blue Givenchy sweater with a sheer blue pleated skirt. So there was some see-through to it.
Well, you know what? She has.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah, I see it. But she has had a higher than they usually like the skirts worn with members of the royal family, but nothing outlandish. Whenever she's out, but she still looks elegant.
You can see the shape of her panties.
Yeah. I mean, that's a little
Does
sheer.
it matter that there are sexy photos of her on the internet to the royal family, do you think? Because, when she did Suits and she did some modeling
There's a whole
stuff,
bunch of it.
Yeah.
And Nick, she had actually just done one prior to this whole...
To meeting Prince Harry.
Yes, and it's excellent.
And the whole family received a portfolio of all of this stuff and said, here's what we're dealing with.
She's a beautiful woman.
If you need me, I'm going to be reviewing these photographs in my chamber.
How long is that going to take?
Wappa.
Fwap.
That's it.
The fappening.
Wappa.
By the
That's
way,
the royal family version of fap.
Why does this all have to rest on her shoulders? Like, why doesn't she have people looking at her going, yo, dude, I can see your panties?
But she makes the final choice.
Yo, dude, I can see your panties.
So the Kardashians won big as well last night. And they had a weird speech. They were trying to thank firefighters and stuff, and they actually made their win a tribute to the firefighters. And listen, see if you can hash this out. Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
It's been a really rough week in our home in Calabasas, Hidden Hills, and our neighbors in Thousand Oaks and Malibu. Our hearts are broken from the horrific shootings and those who have lost their lives and homes, as well as the hundreds of thousands of us that have been evacuated from the devastating fires that are currently burning. So thank you so much to all of the people that have voted for us. This is such an honor.
Did you make that leap there? Did you make that leap?
Okay.
There's a lot of fire out there, but thank you for voting for us.
Are they dedicating the award?
It gets to that at the end, yeah.
All right.
I'd like to dedicate this win to all of the firefighters, the law enforcement, and the first responders.
Okay, that makes more sense. Okay.
I'd like to thank the people what put out the fires.
It just doesn't seem very genuine ever when it comes from them.
You can see the guys who are really, eating smoke and battling flames up. I got great news, guys! Kardashian win was dedicated to us.
Like I get to see them sitting around. Like when we win, we should like dedicate to somebody, so it makes us look good.
Listen, I want to tell everyone up there on the mountain, you guys are doing a great job. The Kardashians just donated their win to you on a Field Choice Award. I just want to carry that into the fire with you.
That's the chief going on the radio to tell all the guys.
Attention everyone, Kardashians just donated their win on the People's Choice Awards to you. So I hope that inspires you to go marching into those flames and that super heat and that whipped up win. No word on Little Women LA yet.
Yeah. No. So the only reason that I might consider something like that is after grooming in my intimate areas, is that the stubble sucks.
Prespo, I'm waiting. One second, honey.
You get a little itchiness for a day or two.
So what do you use?
When it freshly grows
use
back
an
in.
electric shaver?
Yeah,
That's what I use
electric
for safety.
razor.
Yeah. And I like to be shorn tightly for that so porn look.
You know.
I just don't. I don't find it hygienic. I don't want to have them a knotted. I don't want to look like the Legend of Boggy Creek down there.
I only do it like every couple months. Just like, it's getting a little long. So
I mean, I do 100 brushes every night.
Oh, gross.
One second, I'm like Marsha Brady with her hair pressed.
and the stubble's a bitch, but
in the mirror.
That's the only thing I might consider.
So
why I would consider something.
Press, you get your dogs groomed?
Yeah, we do.
All right. So do you have boy dogs?
Do you let them do your crotch?
Well, because I have 2 male dogs, and they have to like shave their peens and their heinies.
Yeah.
Which I've like.
Did you ask if I avoid the dogs?
No.
I'm sorry. Okay.
No, I was going to say.
You get thrown off by the peens and heinies.
Do you have a boy or a girl?
We
or
did
both?
the nails, the teeth, and the peens and heinies.
That's the name of the place, Peens and Heinies.
Peens and Heinies.
If you guys been us on 202, it's called Peens and Heinies.
Come on in.
By the way, I heard Casey on the phone with his groomer the other day, and he was like, so I've been told when I bring my dog back that he's not too calm and that we need some extra help.
I had to give him a big dog. I had to go and get sedatives for him. I had to go to the vet.
Poor thing.
Dude. And what's crazy about this, and Steve, you can probably attest to this, is that dog is the dog that I want to introduce to strangers because he's so lovely and nice and all this stuff. And the other one,
check out that peen.
But the other dog, who will like literally tear a stranger to shreds, is fine at the groomer, right? Like it's like they change personalities when they get. And my cats were the same way at the vet.
I use the service that comes to the house.
Yeah, I should probably have that.
The same lady?
It's Avery.
Yeah, I used her. She was good.
Avery's is great, and they show up, and so the whole deal is they get used to going out of the house, right up, step up into the van, which is parked right by your house, right there, and they get it done because otherwise I don't want to have them have a full-blown seizure. And man, the peen and hiney is great. My dog is peenless, so it's just hiney.
Yeah,
my female.
Yeah, but so somebody was also telling me that a way to sort of combat that, because it's the hair dryer, is to, like, when he's eating, run a hair dryer next to him while he's eating, so he doesn't. I know he's gonna never eat again.
Is this the big dog?
This is the big dog.
Yeah. What's the big dog's name?
Reggie.
Reggie.
That's it,
yeah.
Yeah.
The dog's huge. Dog is huge and thinks it's a lap dog.
That's the black and white one?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's actually not that big. I mean, he's only 74 pounds. Like, he looks bigger because of his fur.
Preston, you have Yorkies. That's a huge difference.
They're the doodle variety, so they get really hairy. So you have to groom them.
Doodle peen.
Yeah.
Doodle Peen. That was a kid show, wasn't it? Doodle Peen?
Hi, I'm Doodle Peen. On today's adventure, we teach you how to shave your ass. Shave it real good. Doodle Peen. Showing you how to groom your genitals.
Doodle Peen, I have an issue right behind my testicles.
Well, it's easy. Use fly strips.
And now another adventure with Doodle Peen.
Man, it can get awful smelly down there.
Oh my God.
Like a filthy whore.
Hey, we're gonna wrap this up. We gotta start
wrap it up.
We gotta
Hey,
start on
kids,
the road.
tune in next week for another episode of Doodle Peen.
All right. With that, we're going to take a break. Highly Kylie Jenner has been hanging out with Drake.
Oh, great.
A month after her split from Travis
This
Scott.
story keeps coming back. Do you think there's something going on between them, or do you care? I'll give you both questions.
Well, I don't care, but most of these stories or most of the comments from quote-unquote sources say that they're just friends. They've known each other for a long time.
I'll tell you what, we talk about the surgical enhancements, and we talk about, the people who overdo it. Whoever, I mean, if you look at Kylie, she's an attractive woman.
Yeah.
Besides the lips, there's she's had a ton of other work done, but nothing where you see all the lines and zippers and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, it's almost like I get mad because you're a billionaire because of what you look like. And that's not what you look like. It's, like A-Rod, is he going to get into the Hall of Fame for baseball because you were juiced up half of your career? So it's almost like your numbers are tainted.
Well, the most clear aspect of the whole hypocrisy of this thing is that what got her over the threshold, what started the Kylie Jenner empire, was the Kylie lip kit, and her lips were surgically enhanced.
Yep. I say to you, Greg.
But
is it an indictment of the country?
I'm wearing Kylie lip today.
Oh, I hate you.
I know.
Why?
That actually looks good.
I told you I bought it. Yeah.
I know.
I got it at Ulta. I tried one color, and I like it. It's pretty good.
You're giving her money.
I want my lips to look good. All right,
Yeah.
get off my back.
Doesn't look like you're wearing anything.
That's
like
Kylie genius.
That's what it is. That's what I got. I got kind of like a neutral color.
She is.
It's like the Emperor's New Clothes.
Yeah.
It's like, doesn't even. All right, anyway, got it.
Without all of the surgical enhancements, she's still an attract. She's East Delco hot,
She's
right?
cute. Yeah. East Delco hot?
Yeah.
I think she's just Delco hot.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, she's not Radnor hot.
I see your point.
All right.
Emmy-winning SNL actress Kate McKinnon is set to headline a new series on UCP.
The hell is that? I
don't know.
Is it the Paramount Network?
I don't know.
Is that Uck?
The series, it's Uck.
You guys watch Uck?
The series
tonight on Uck.
Is it what the hell?
Where's that sound coming from?
Where's that sound coming from?
You know what it is? It's
What?
we said series and it lit up Siri on my phone. Where's that sound coming from? I can't yell that loud right now. My throat hurts too much.
What the?
Well, we have everything you need. Just tell me what you need and I'll hit it.
All right. Well, how about there's nothing on here.
There's nothing on here.
Thank you. So
Universal Content Productions. It's a it's a division.
We here at
Couple. There we go.
This is a sister station.
Couple.
Yeah, Cup is a sister station of Uck.
Couple.
And it's sister station. Couple.
Cup. Yeah, couple. Couple. We done?
No.
Okay,
Just
keep
give
going.
it a minute. Give it a minute.
Couple. Have fun.
And instead of the CNN,
Yeah. Couple.
This is
CNN.
Couple.
This is
Do that, Fred.
By the way, Shake Shack,
Yep.
love their burgers, but I might as well eat them while I'm sitting on the toilet because that's how quickly they go through me.
just for some.
3 WMMR.
Thanks, Kath. By the way, just to remind you, we made an announcement last week. Preston and Steve's Dorm Decor TikTok tour.
Yes.
Chance to win $1,000 for students who have an awesome dorm and want to show it off to us. It's thanks to our friends at College Ave Student Loans. And you just make a short video that says, "Hey, Preston and Steve, here's my dorm room." And then you will get, we'll have the voting up and running. It'll start Saturday, November 4th. And whoever gets the most votes is going to be our winner and get $1,000, which is a pretty sweet deal. So the reason being is because I think it was Casey who came to the revelation that nowadays dorms are way more cool than they used to be, or you had the opportunity to make them more cool than they used to be.
I think I blame, in a good way, like HGTV for teaching people how to like maximize their space.
I think you're 100% right.
Yeah.
I think all those design ideas are now seeped down. And the funny thing is how long you, I'm sure, spent all that time in college, like what I could have done and didn't.
Yeah.
You know?
I would have crapped the room up anyway,
Yeah.
but you know.
So anyhow, you can go to PrestonandSteve.com, get the information there, but pass the word because we would love to give $1,000 to somebody who could use a little bit of cash as they're going to school. So there's an article that Steve sent me over, and it's about humor in general and the fact that it seems to be an essential part of virtually every human society across the world and throughout time. But what makes a joke funny, and why do we even try to make people laugh in the first place? So researchers have taken an important step towards answering those questions after revealing the 10 oldest recorded jokes in existence.
These are the 10 oldest jokes in recorded existence.
Yeah, it was a study that was done by University of Wolverhampton. They found that the oldest joke in existence was a 4,000-year-old fart joke.
No.
Oh, my God.
Written in ancient Sumeria. I kid you not.
He's not lying, yeah.
It's been around since recorded history.
Which shows you the long-lasting humor involved in farts.
Yeah, it's true.
It has, for 4,000 years, kept humanity chuckling.
Probably way before that. This is just the first
in a
recorded
cave,
one. Yeah.
Some Neanderthal sitting there, ripped one.
Yeah.
His semi-loincloth popped up, if they even wore them, which they didn't. But, and everyone chuckled.
Yes.
It's what happened. It's why we've pointed out that babies laugh at farts.
So I have the 10 oldest jokes if you guys are interested in hearing these.
Absolutely.
I purposely...
I've read a few of them. So
I did not read these ahead of time. I read like the number one and a couple here and there, but I do not know most of these.
Are you going to give us the oldest one first?
No, I'm gonna start with the youngest one first.
The kid in the pile.
And you know what? And in fact, I don't have the headline for this first joke, so I don't know what year it came from. It's a joke that comes from the pages of the world's oldest surviving joke book, a 4th century text called Philogelos.
Philogelos.
Meaning laughter lover. So the text is attributed to the ancient, and have our kickers ready to go here.
Rim shot.
The text is attributed to the ancient Greek comics and writers Heracles and Philagrius. So here's the joke.
Okay.
All right, you ready? Asked by the court barber how he wanted his haircut, the king replied, in silence.
That's a good one. Of course, it's the king making the joke, so everyone's going to laugh.
Yes, of course. So how he wanted his haircut.
You get the joke.
I get it. Yeah.
It's a simple concept.
Rather than saying
I want to cut back this way
of cut.
Yeah,
he's
shut
saying,
your hole.
I just want
and I
somebody
just
to
farted.
Shut up and cut my hair. And I just farted. So that's the 10th oldest joke.
10th oldest joke.
All right, number 9.
Which, by the way, variations, all jokes derive from about 3 or 4 different concepts.
Yes.
So you'll see them permeate this.
And in fact, at the end of this article, it goes into, I can do that ahead of time if you want, to let you know the basics of the elemental humor. So there are 6 funny things.
Wind, fire.
This is according to Dr. Martha Bayless, an expert in medieval folklore and popular culture. So she says that
rather funny myself.
There are 6 funny things, essentially. So there's food, drinking, which includes vomiting.
Yes.
Sex, butts.
Butts.
Yeah.
Yes.
It says
farts.
bottoms. Butts,
Yeah.
dung, and clergymen.
There we go.
Oh, geez.
Clergymen.
Yes.
They're below farts?
It says the clergymen, of course, are funnier if they are involved in the other 5 funny things.
Okay.
She said these basic elements of humor hold true in every culture I've seen, though you have to substitute whatever solemn official they have for clergymen. So clergymen could be interplaced with I guess...
a farting nun eating a hoagie's a home run.
Well, not necessarily in the clergy, but an official of some type.
Yeah.
So this falls into what Dr. Peter McGraw of the University of Colorado calls benign violation. He's a psychologist. He studies emotions, behavioral economics, and said that something is funny if it has 2 key elements, an element of threat and a sense of safety.
Uh-huh.
It has to be both wrong and okay.
That's right. So it falls in that pocket.
He said
Absolutely.
for a joke to really land, it has to push against the norms just enough to be exciting without upsetting everyone who hears it.
Yeah.
So those are the basic
Absolutely.
things that are needed.
Like a haircut joke.
For humor. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do
That's
you
a
want,
screamer.
How do you want your haircut?
In silence. I just cut a fart. So that's a twofer.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm a priest.
All right. So this next one, number 9.
And I'm eating.
It comes from ancient Greece, 3 to 400 AD.
3 to 400. The next one, 3 to 400 AD.
Around that time. So this is from the Philogelos.
Oh, that's a big book.
Yes, this joke covers a favorite comedic topic of the ancient Greeks, the idiot.
The idiot.
Yes.
Stupid people are funny.
Here's your joke. You ready?
Yeah.
Wishing to teach his donkey not to eat, a pedant, I don't know what a pedant is.
Someone who's, I guess, very specific, pedantic.
Did not offer him any food, it reads. And it says, when the donkey died of hunger, he said, I've had a great loss. Just when he had learned not to eat, he died.
Pretty good. That's pretty good.
You
It's
like
not
that one?
bad.
Okay.
It's not bad.
All right. Then here's a Roman joke from 63 BC to 14 AD.
I got a million of them.
The Roman Empire, it says, was an advanced society in many ways, and apparently comedy was no exception. While you might not hear it in a school playground today, this Roman classic is the very first example of a your mama joke.
Okay.
In recorded history. All right?
Okay. Your first, your mama joke.
Here's the joke. The Emperor Augustus was touring the empire when he noticed a man in the crowd who bore a striking resemblance to himself.
Hey, your mom's a dumb bitch.
Intrigued, he asked, was your mother at one time in service at the palace? No, Your Highness, the man replied, but my father was.
Now, I must admit, when I read that, I had a bit of a difficulty understanding.
Yeah, I don't get that one.
So I assume perhaps the father.
He mistook his mother for a man.
Right.
Or the other way around.
Oh, okay.
Something like that.
And then there is some sort of fart.
So he said, was your mother at one time in service at the palace? No, Your Highness, but my father was. So I guess maybe, his dad looked like a woman. Isn't that the joke?
Or is it?
No, my dad banged your mom.
Exactly. I was thinking that as well.
Oh, there you go. I'm sorry. I totally missed that.
So your
Yes.
mother's not ugly. She's a slut.
She's
And
just
your,
a whore.
Your father's just horrible.
Yeah.
Say it again.
All right, the whole thing?
Yeah.
The Emperor Augustus was touring the empire when he noticed a man in the crowd who bore a striking resemblance to himself. Intrigued, he asked, was your mother at one time in service at the palace? No, Your Highness, but my father was.
It still works. It still works.
All right.
Thank you for remembering.
From ancient.
Do you have anybody here from Pompeii?
This is from ancient Egypt, around 30 BC. A dirty joke fit for a pharaoh. So a simple, bawdy joke from ancient Egypt. This gag was written just as the last remnants of the Roman Republic collapsed. The joke is believed to have been written around the same year that Mark Antony and Cleopatra killed themselves by snakebite.
So you can imagine, I need a line. I need an opener.
All right, so here's the joke. Man is even more eager to copulate than a donkey. His purse is what restrains him.
Oh my God.
It's good. And it's, you know why it's funny? Because it's true.
I don't get it.
Of course you
Yeah, I know. His purse is what
You're not a
restrains him.
donkey owner.
No.
So the amount of money that he has is what holds him back?
I guess so.
One more time.
Man is even more eager to copulate than a donkey.
Right.
His purse is what restrains him.
All right, so the donkey can't afford it.
Or yes, you got it. Nailed it.
Here's number 6 on this list of the oldest
Can't go wrong with
jokes
the donkey joke.
in history. A classic brain teaser. It's from ancient Greece, 429 BC. It says a slightly more highbrow joke comes from Oedipus Tyrannus.
Okay.
A play by the Greek playwright Sophocles.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you're a fan of riddles, you might already be familiar with this famous line, which is still repeated in almost the same way to this day.
Okay.
All right, so here we go. During the ancient tragedy, one character gives the following line. Question. What animal walks on 4 feet in the morning, 2 at noon, and 3 in the evening? Answer. Man. He goes on all fours as a baby, on 2 feet as a man, and uses a cane in old age. That's just an old...
That's not really a joke. That's just
It's like figure that.
an observation.
It's a riddle.
Yeah, it's a riddle.
Riddle. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like the joke, hey, this past weekend, I decided to just go to an alleyway and orally please men all day. I made $300.50. And then you ask?
Why 50 cents?
Well, not 50.
Oh.
But this is, again.
This is good.
This is really great, Kathy. This is such a good one. But you say that, and then the person is supposed to go, who did you charge 50 cents to? And you go, all of them.
That's a good joke.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
I like it. I like that.
Even though
you need the proper.
You need the proper.
You need to know that. Yes.
In order for that joke to work.
Ours should be, it was the donkey.
Yeah. Earlier this summer, Chuck D'Amico's wife, Leanne, she did this joke, and she was waiting for me to ask the question in order to get to the punchline. I didn't know that I was supposed to ask a question. I had no idea.
Yeah, don't count on the person you're telling the joke to know that they have to ask a question.
Yeah.
Like, wow, that's crazy.
All right, so
you had oral sex with that many guys, huh?
This is a pun. This is number 5. It's a pun from ancient Greece, 800 BC.
Are you a pun guy?
Some of them, but most of them.
Dad jokes can be punished.
Very much so.
Yeah.
So this pun comes from Homer's The Odyssey. The classic tale of how Odysseus,
one of my favorite yuck-it-up books,
traveled home after the end of the Trojan War. During his travels, Odysseus and his crew were captured by a Cyclops who threatens to eat them all. Homer uses this as a setup for a bit of dark humor and a terrible pun. So here it is. Odysseus tells the Cyclops that his real name is Nobody. When Odysseus instructs his men to attack the Cyclops shouts, "Help! Nobody is attacking me!"
I thought there was going to be I'm keeping my eye on you.
Right. He's a Cyclops.
Right, Cyclops.
But no one comes to help.
Okay. Well, that's actually pretty clever.
You guys remember the movie Master and Commander pretty well, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I love the Cyclops in that.
No, but there is a moment where there is a pun reference.
Yeah.
All right, so explain.
So they're having dinner, and Jack, the captain, notices 2 weevils.
Okay.
Weevils are like an insect.
Yes.
And they are they're on the table, and he goes, Doctor, he goes, tell me, which of these 2 weevils would you choose? And he goes, well, I wouldn't choose either of them. They're saying, he's like, if you had to choose which one, he takes his glasses, he looks really close. He's like, I would choose the right weevil. It is stronger and longer, and therefore is going to be more resilient. And then Jack goes, oh, doctor, he's like, you've missed the first rule. Don't you know that when it comes to naval activity or when it comes to war, one should always choose the lesser of two weevils?
And then a cannonball ripped his head off.
Yeah. That was actually pretty funny for that time.
That is. I love that movie. I forget that scene.
All right, so here is number 4, a joke about an old married couple, and it is from 1100 BC. We don't know the origin, where in the world it came from, apparently. It says, the origins of this joke may be lost, but it draws on a theme that has been used by comedians since the beginning of time. And here's how it goes. A woman who was blind in one eye has been married to a man for 20 years. Mm-hmm. When he found another woman, he said to her, I shall divorce you because you are said to be blind in one eye. And she answered him, have you just discovered that after 20 years of marriage?
It's good. It's good.
Is it good?
It's good because it plays upon the classic trope of the one-eyed wife.
The one-eyed wife, you know. It's funny.
So is the joke derived from the husband's inability to notice things about his wife?
Yes.
Right.
I believe so.
So that's a very base concept.
By the way, with punchline setup and punchline jokes,
Right.
I forget it. I can't do it. I mess
You
it up.
can't tell them?
I cannot tell them.
Yeah.
I've quit after years and years. Even if I know one pretty good,
Right.
I lose the rhythm. I don't do it properly. But there are people, John Brazier, who constantly have a joke at the ready,
Right.
And John delivers them properly,
Right, yeah.
But John is always
With the zeal.
always got a joke ready to go. He's just some people they
And they
retain
launch
him.
into it. So John is at the bar. And they do the presentation, right? And if you don't do that and you don't get the pentameter, you won't be able to sell it.
You got to have the delivery. Yeah, he's always got one. Kathy, I remember on Drunk Day, you're like, tell us a funny joke, John.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Come on, tell us a funny joke.
And they're usually, I would say, 95% hit rate that I've never heard the joke before.
He's good because you know what? Sometimes
He's surrounded by a lot of joke tellers.
Well, and he'll ask too.
Yeah.
Have you heard the whatever? And then
Have you heard about the one about the one-eyed wife?
Well, he won't just bring it up as if he's telling a story, and then all of a sudden, oh, this is a joke. He'll be like, hey, did you hear this joke?
Yeah.
And then he'll throw it at you.
his delivery is good though. Like you're in for a decent story.
Yeah.
Either way.
A lot of times, too, it'll pertain. They're just anecdotes from things he's actually witnessed or stuff that works its way around the clubhouse.
Yeah. I wish, though, that I could react to people telling me a joke that I don't want to laugh at the way you guys do to me. Because, like, it's so difficult to... That's such a good one. I don't know how to.
I
stopped
stopped doing
to
it years
somebody.
ago. Yeah, it's so difficult, and I'll tell somebody ahead of time. I won't. I'm not good with this.
Yeah.
So, but go ahead. You know,
I'm not going to laugh at your joke.
Yeah, but I'll know if it's funny or not.
The worst, though, the absolute worst, and I had this happen. I think it was last year. Is if somebody starts heading down a path and they're going to like dive into some subject like a severely racist thing or something like that, and you're like, oh no. And how do you react when they hit the punchline? It's like I was this guy said this joke and I was just like, oh
yeah.
I'm like the one time Stevie told the story of a guy telling you this joke in front of everybody. And it's like, why did you think I'm
standing in a
would
line?
find that funny?
I've met this guy. I've talked to this guy for a total of eight seconds. I just simply go in and buy pizza from him. This is up on Long Island, and I'm in the line. And because he knows that I was doing stand-up at the time, he figured, oh, this would be a great joke to get you despised by humanity.
Yeah.
So he says it out, barks it out loud as if I'm complicit.
Yeah.
In this, these are the kind of jokes we trade back and forth. I'm just here for pizza.
Preston, I thought that was going to happen to you and me on Thursday night at the event with Cora, and there was a guy that came over, a really nice guy, and he started launching into a joke, and I was afraid that it was
Me
going
too.
and it ended up being fine, and it was innocuous.
It's about a
whatever.
one-eyed wife.
It was about this guy that gives a bunch of BJs in an alleyway.
But I know I kind of felt that too. I'm like, please
be clean.
But it ended up being a pretty easy joke to.
And then you're hanging out with racists, and then they'll tell you the most benign jokes. Like it's totally unexpected.
I just don't respond and I stare at them.
Yeah.
Like let them feel awkward, not me.
That wasn't funny.
A friend of mine, her response was always like, I'm sorry, I don't get it. What?
Yeah.
Can you explain
that's
it to
good.
me?
Yeah.
And then has
Then
them
they're
try to
forced-
explain
Yes.
what it is. Oh, and so that's funny because this particular person is that way, and you know, and just makes them feel uncomfortable. All right, back to the oldest jokes. Here is this is the third oldest joke in history, recorded history. This is an ancient head scratcher from Samaria.
So even they know it doesn't make sense.
1200 BC.
That was a funny time.
It says, comedy from the ancient world doesn't always follow our modern joke structure, and jokes don't always have a punchline. Really? It says, in fact, many of these quote-unquote jokes appeared much more like riddles, as in, can you solve this?
Yeah, so that to me, that's not a classic joke.
Yeah.
A riddle is not a joke.
All right, let's see if you can solve this one.
All right.
And I haven't read this.
I do
so
love these.
No idea where it's going to go.
All right, let's go. How about it?
3 ox drivers from Adab.
Let me write this down.
Were thirsty.
The Adabi-do.
Yes. One owned the ox, the other owned the cow, and the other owned the wagon's load.
Okay, so repeat this from the beginning again.
3 ox drivers from Adab were thirsty. One owned the ox, the other owned the cow.
All right, so stop right there. Where does the cow come from?
I don't know. And the other owned the wagon's load.
All right.
The owner of the ox refused to get water because he feared that his ox would be eaten by a lion. The owner of the cow refused because he thought his cow might wander off into the desert. The owner of the wagon refused because he feared his load would be stolen.
I don't want to drop my load here.
So they all went, and in their absence, the ox made love to the cow, which gave birth to a calf, which ate the wagon's load. The problem, it says, who owns the calf? So that's what you have to solve. I know, it's hilarious, isn't it?
Tell the calf joke. Oh, you got to hear this. And if you're sensitive, it's a little racist.
But this is a riddle, not a joke?
Yeah. But he was saying their interpretations.
In other words, right, so who in this bizarre thing, which starts off as 3 ox cart drivers, somehow a cow enters the equation, and then everyone's looking to drop their loads.
Is there an answer?
No.
Peter North.
Oh, man.
He owns the
load.
He owns the calf.
Yeah. He owns the calf.
Yeah, so they all went, and in their absence, the ox screwed the cow, which gave birth to a calf with the wagon's load. Who owns the calf? So the calf was born to the cow and the ox, which was owned by the, one guy owned the ox and one guy owned the cow. But the calf ate the wagon's load. So this is stupid.
It's not even really a very good riddle. They're simply posing technically a legal question.
Yeah.
Who would own in that bizarre equation, who would end up owning the calf that was generated by and that's for the what is Assyrian, this joke? What is this?
Samara.
Sumerian Judge Judy.
So I don't, and I don't have the answer, so we're moving on.
All right, move on.
All right, so this is the world's first sex joke.
All right, I like it.
Ancient Egypt, 1800 BC.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Even then.
It says here, it turns out that some things never change, and sex jokes appear to have always gotten a laugh. The world's second oldest joke book was discovered in an ancient Egyptian storybook written sometime between 1800 and 1600 BC, known as the Westcar Papyrus.
Wow.
This ancient text contains 5 stories about miracles performed by priests and magicians. The pharaoh this joke is said to be about is King Snorfru. Snorfru.
I like Snorfru.
That's his name.
There's your joke right there, King Snorfru.
Yeah. Snorfru.
Meet Don Gummer.
All right. Would you like to hear this?
Yeah.
All right, it's a short joke.
All right.
How do you entertain a bored pharaoh?
How do you entertain a bored pharaoh?
Mm-hmm. You sail a boatload of young women dressed only in fishing nets down the Nile and urge the pharaoh to go catch a fish.
He's right. It's funny because it's true. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Tell that fish joke again.
Portuguese.
Portuguese.
Right?
I did like that.
It was a good one.
Have you heard any good dad jokes lately?
I have.
All right.
But I'm telling you, you really should credit me for just waiting to the perfect time.
I know.
To tell these.
You do try to fit those in.
Yeah.
So
I try not to, I don't want to force it. I would prefer that
right.
you actually think I'm telling you a story.
Right. You prefer to the perception that you came up with the joke.
Right.
So you don't want to waste anything.
No.
And he's got him in his quiver, his dad joke quiver.
I got him.
Now, do you go? There's a couple of sites where they're like.
No. Usually, I don't go to any sites. Sometimes people will send them to me.
Right. And that's the better way.
And just for anybody listening, don't send me a punchline joke.
Right.
I prefer a story-ish joke.
Right. Portuguese.
Portuguese, where you guys think I'm actually spinning a yarn.
One-eyed wife, hookers, and loose women in nets.
I think I got an answer to that ox riddle.
Oh, please. All right.
Some listeners have texted in, apparently, and I didn't know this until just now, that an ox has been castrated. Therefore, the calf has never been born in the first place.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
a riddle that has no answer. There is no calf.
It's like one of those where do they bury the survivors?
There were no survivors.
Yeah, or the icicle was made out of, the
survivors don't get buried because they're still alive.
They were on the North Pole.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Roosters don't lay eggs, that kind of thing.
Right. Yes. All right. Okay. So an ox is castrated, therefore
Moses didn't have an ark.
It can't get a cow pregnant.
Right. Jesus couldn't drive.
Jesus couldn't drive.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. How about that?
Amelia Earhart had no vagina.
Excuse me?
Yeah, that's one of them.
Okay.
All right.
Hang on. Before I get you the oldest joke, Doug wants to give us a joke.
Okay.
We'll let somebody try out a joke.
Right.
Hi, Doug. You're on the air. Good morning.
Morning. How are you?
Good. What's up, Doug?
Hey, so I got a joke.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys heard this one. There's a preacher, and he has a family, a wife, 2 kids. So she goes to the supermarket to buy some groceries. She goes up to the meat counter. She says to the meat counter guy, "Hey, do you have anything on sale?" The meat counter guy says, "Yeah, I got this damn ham." She goes, "Don't talk to me like that. How dare you? My husband's a preacher." He goes, "I'm sorry, but that's just what it's called." She says, "Okay." So she goes back home after she goes to the grocery store, and her husband says, the preacher says, "What are we having for dinner, hon?" She says, "Well, I've got something on sale. I got this damn ham." He goes, "How dare you talk to me like that? I'm a preacher." She goes, "I'm sorry." She goes, "That's just what it's called." So she goes, "Okay, that's fine." So she cooks the damn ham. They sit down for dinner. The wife's there. The kids are there. The preacher's there. And the preacher says to his son, "Son, can you please pass me the damn ham?" The son says, "Sure, Pop. Can you pass me the effing potatoes?"
I've heard that, yeah. I like
That's
that one.
cute.
Yeah.
That's cute. I like that, Doug. Thank you.
All right, hang on. I didn't give him one of these.
Oh, yeah. All right. I now have the world's oldest joke.
The world's oldest joke.
This is from Samaria as well. Apparently
Samaria, they
that's-
were rocking.
Yeah, that's where you went.
That's where the stand-up comics were, Samaria.
Yep. They were at the Oasis.
Yeah.
They did their thing there.
Singing their donkeys to bed.
1900 BC.
1900 BC.
Yeah, it was written over 4,000 years ago. Now, it's actually a proverb.
A proverb.
So this isn't much of a punchline setup thing. This is the first recorded piece of humor in human history, and it says it might not have aged so gracefully.
So there's one that I heard that's a classic, that like trust in Allah, but tie up your camel.
Okay.
In other words, you trust that you'll be looked out after, but still take
just in case.
Just in case.
Okay.
And to me, it's funny because it's true.
So here you go. This is the oldest joke, and it's more of a proverb. Right. Something which has never occurred since time immemorial. A young woman did not fart in her husband's lap.
Something that's basically said no one ever.
Yes,
right.
right.
So that's their version of said no one ever.
Okay.
So a young bride has never farted in her husband's lap.
So
said
I guess
no one ever.
Regularly, then
it was
women would fart in their husband's
Was
laps.
that foreplay?
Or maybe it was a joke.
Heat up my nuts. We're gonna get it on.
Or is it saying that women are bashful and won't do that in front of a?
Yeah, that's what I think it is.
I think that's where.
Say it again.
Something which has never occurred since time immemorial. A young woman did not fart in her husband's lap.
A young woman did not fart.
Yes,
in her husband's
lap.
Fart.
I don't know. You interpret it. Whatever makes you giggle. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. That's a solid 10.
So those are the oldest jokes in history, in recorded human history.
I think,
as far as we know,
give our most accomplished stand-up comedian friend, send them up at Helium or whatever, and see if they can kill with this material.
They can deliver these jokes and make them work.
Right.
It's possible. I don't know. But this was a study that was done by the University of Wolverhampton, and the oldest joke in existence is a fart joke. I think that's telling.
It does say a lot.
That
It
is
truly
telling.
does. Because when people belittle fart jokes, they don't realize what a part of humor they are.
Yep.
There
Thank
you
you,
go.
Jeff.
It just made me laugh.
That was from Jeff, right?
Yes.
Okay. What?
Carter farted on Marissa? I just got a text message from your wife.
Yeah. That was when he was a little kid. Marissa came over for dinner one time. And Carter sat on her lap, and he purposely ripped one, and it was hilarious. It was hilarious. So it goes way back. All right.
Did Marissa dig it?
I think she thought it was funny.
Yeah.
She probably didn't appreciate it, but she did think it was funny. So, all right, we're going to take a break. The Phils start at 5:07 tonight.
That's the best time ever.
Oh, it's the best. So we're going to talk to Greg Murphy about the Phils and game number 6 when we return. So stay with us. We'll be back shortly. Get the special sauce?
Dude, so
he makes the special sauce.
I literally ate it one time, and I was driving home. I ate it by Helium. There's one right there.
Oh, no.
And I ate it.
Oh, no.
And I had to race. Oh, my God. I'm trying to get home. I was trying to get home.
Yeah.
And it was late. It was probably like 10, 11 o'clock at night.
I can make it.
And by the time I got to about Route 1 on 76, I was like, there's no way I'm going to make it. So let me get to the radio station. Quick. Stat, right?
Yeah.
Got to the radio station. Couldn't make it to the 4th floor. I had to dump by outside next to the...
Dude, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Did you take a dump?
You crapped outside of the building?
I had to.
How long ago was this?
This morning.
God.
Kathy,
I
it was either that or in my pants. What do I do?
Sometimes I don't know.
Right? So I had to do it next to the...
Couldn't you at least pick a competing station?
Yeah. Well, no, because
I mean, I'm also just so open to tell the story. It's amazing.
not right away. I had to wait a couple of years before the security footage was deleted, you know?
Hey, more FM's right over there.
Right.
Well,
Q102 is right down the street.
Q102 is down the street. You crapped there.
Oh, my God.
The story does get a little bit better.
Funny.
How?
How could it?
How?
But could you have imagined had he been stopped at another radio station simply because it was an emergency?
Yes.
Right.
Local broadcaster in a clear attempt.
Like a superintendent of a school.
Right, exactly.
Right?
He would have been raised to heroic levels here.
Now, how does the story get better?
Oh, man. I think I'm just going to end it there.
No. You started down the path.
Just say it quietly so we can't hear.
All right, I'll just whisper it.
They're not listening.
So,
Yeah.
So I had to...
I smeared it on someone's car.
I had to leave it there in the grass.
Yeah.
I couldn't take it with me.
Right.
Oh, you didn't want to take it with you?
No. I couldn't. So what ended
Take
up...
your dog for a walk.
So...
I left it there.
All right, so a little bit did end up in my underpants. So I had...
That was just like a bingo.
So I had to put... Luckily, I had... Nobody can hear this, right?
Right, no,
All
we're good.
So luckily, I had all these T-shirts in the back of my car.
Did you fashion a makeshift underwear?
I literally wore a pink T-shirt as underwear on the drive home. Oh, no. It gets better. Okay. So then I'm on my way home and I'm thinking, dude, there is like T-shirts and poop and all this stuff next to the building. All right. So I can't, like, if security goes and they see that on Monday, they're going to go, well, who pooped here
and look at security.
They're going to look at security and they're going to see me like all ashamed crouching next to my car. So on Monday, I came back to work with a giant trash bag and I had to like collect it all.
Oh my God.
And then throw it in the dumpster.
So he cleaned his spot.
Yeah, I cleaned my spot.
hate you.
I hate me too, Kathy. When I got home.
And this was all because of what?
Freaking Shake Shack.
Oh, Shake Shack.
No, not Five Guys. Don't you talk
They're
bad about-
fine.
Yeah, they're fine.
Where in the building was it?
On the over
By
at
the loading docks. Well, you unloaded.
Yeah,
Wait,
I had to go. What's that?
Why didn't you come inside?
He couldn't get in.
I couldn't make it. I couldn't make it. I do. Believe me. I'm not. This is not a proud moment here, Kathy.
Yeah.
Though you would assume it could have been a proud moment.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad you came back. And that's noble.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it wasn't necessarily noble. It was self-preservation.
The last thing you wanted is that footage to end up. But what's worse, the footage of you doing it or the footage of you collecting it back up in the bag?
They watched both and they were like, okay,
Yeah,
he came back and cleaned.
You know, we'll erase this.
All right, so you should eat your hamburger upside down.
On the toilet.
That's what we got.
That's all I noticed. I didn't. There's
Notice
that's it. I can't top that.
No, it ends there.
I will not be able
like
to.
a derailing train.
Right.
I see nobody heard that, right?
Nobody heard that. So let me go to here. More broken ribs. I have. It says Walper. Is your name Walper?
Walter.
Walper.
Honestly, wouldn't you at least say
Walper?
Is this Judge Wapner calling in?
You got a nickname now, Walter.
Oh my God!
Yeah, you hear what happened to old Walper.
That's not even a mistype. I'm looking at the T and the P are like nowhere near each other on the keyboard.
Name's Walper.
Let me get that straight. Your actual name is Walter. And what happened to you? So what happened to you, Walter?
All right. Well,
All right.
I've broken my hand.
Yeah.
I've fractured all my ribs.
Were these fights over your weird name, Walper?
It's not my name.
His guy's name's Walper. I'm gonna punch you.
But at least you got a great nickname today.
Walper.
Well, hang in there, brother. Okay.
From Touchstone Pictures, the inspiring story of a man named Walper. I've seen him. He's got some medical issues, but the worst thing is his name is Walper. And then a young therapist came into his life. Hi, I'm Kathy Romano. We're going to change that P to a T.
Simple as that.
And then his life turned around.
I'm the head of a Fortune 500 company. And I can do the saber dance.
That morning show's not making fun of me anymore.
Oh, man. A little while back, I had this idea. If we were to cast WMMR, the movie,
Yes.
who would play who? And we
That's
went
right.
down a list of people, and we had people suggest, and we eventually narrowed down the cast of the WMMR movie.
What celebrities would play?
Exactly. And playing our program director, Bill Weston, John O'Hurley was the overwhelming
You were the overwhelming choice.
Yes.
Well, that's interesting. I was hoping he'd have higher standards.
So to understand Bill Weston, he has a bit of your delivery.
Mm-hmm.
He is somewhere between Peterman and Ted Knight. So that would be right, and that would be the deal. So
we figured we'd come up. Actually, Steve did come up with some lines that might be indicative of Bill.
These are things that he has said in various forms.
And we're calling this the Bill Weston story. Soup. There it is. He hates soup. It's a long story.
So a lot of this is very inside.
Do we have any soap opera music, which would?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. If you wouldn't mind, give us a couple of Bill Weston lines. That'd be wonderful.
Here we go.
Okay.
Preston, try to refrain from mentioning on air that you occasionally use Band-Aids. It makes you sound privileged. I just saw the most amazing thing while driving in today. Firefighters were collecting donations at various intersections. Is that a Jewish thing? So last night, I was jarred awake from my slumber by a horrible nightmare. Both Preston and Steve were there in the studio, sitting on horses and eating soup. What say we file that one under who gives a crap? Oh, that recently widowed quadruple amputee was a terrible guest. She didn't bring the ha-ha.
Perfect. And last one.
On today's show, you had the Pope driving in a go-kart, you solved the John Benet Ramsey case, and you raised Kurt Cobain from the dead. I'd give it a C+.
I couldn't have asked for better.
My God, that was absolutely perfect.
Yep. I am nothing like that. All of that stuff is taken out of context.
My God, it's like looking in a
It's like By the way, the interview, I'll give it a B+.
B+.
No, that was terrific.
Oh, well,
thank you very much for playing along with.
Absolutely.
I don't know. You're reading
Gold. It's gold, Jerry. It's gold.
All right, we're gonna have to probably pay a retainer to use that. So no drops. We're not gonna use those as drops. But thank you very much. That was a great interview.
By the way, who was the singer who did that ghastly song, Pina Colada?
Oh, Rupert Everett. Or wait.
Rupert Murdoch.
Rupert Murdoch.
No, it was Rupert.
Rupert Everett, wasn't it?
I think
Not
you're
the
right.
guy from Harry
Rupert
Potter?
Everett's an actor.
Yeah.
Who the hell am I thinking of?
That's
Rupert.
I'm way off.
Oh, don't play it. Oh, it makes me ill.
Caught in the rain.
I detest
What's his, Rupert Holmes.
Rupert Holmes.
Rupert Everett is the actor.
I rarely would beat up on a song. This song makes me want to vomit.
Midnight.
Oh, stop it!
In the dunes of the Cape.
Wait, why do you hate it so much?
It's hideous. It's first of all, he says, "My lady," you know, "My lady." We got some problems with my lady, my old lady, you know. And then I'm gonna look in the newspaper and hook up with some chick. And
This would definitely be yacht rock.
The same my lady, and the same chick is hooking up with me that I was trying to get away from.
I'm just surprised because it's very Buffett-esque, and
It's
you
not
are such a
Buffett-esque.
huge
It's
Buffett
ghastly.
fan. Okay.
It's ghastly.
Actually, Jimmy Buffett has said this is a perfect song.
He has not. He has not.
Pierre, it's all
I was
rock
like,
and roll.
see?
Yeah, isn't it all rock and roll? Isn't it all rock and roll?
All right.
Oh, man.
Turn myself against me. Turn.
It is about having an affair. Like he's trying to set up an affair, and his wife is trying to set up an affair.
Rock and roll.
When you listen to the lyrics,
this crap.
it's pretty messed up.
All right.
That's the great thing about rock and roll.
I'll stand.
Whatever you're into, as long as it's not Rupert Holmes, because that's crap.
See, the danger on this program is to reveal any vulnerability, and then it will be immediately seized on by the rest of the masses on the Preston and Steve compound complex, and then, but not just once, they'll save it in that file. And then, when you least expect it, pull it out.
Well, you know now this will be something for you for a while.
Yes.
And then you'll be able. There was a second though Rupert Holmes song. Yes, there was. Besides the Pina Colada song. Do you remember that, Preston?
Dry Martini?
I don't know. Nick's going to have to look
Do
it up.
check, yes.
Something called Him, Steve? I don't know that.
Yeah. Sing it, Nick.
But it came out in 1980. Pina Colada came out in 1979, so it was right afterward. But
Maybe.
he was that was a hit single.
It's
apparently.
him.
By the way, you just said pina, and I've heard that that's technically the way you say the drink, pina colada.
Pina colada.
Although I always used to say pina colada, but he sings pina colada. If you like pina colada,
It's actually piñas. Yeah. And,
When you have more than one.
I hear pina colada. Hang on. Let's
Here,
listen.
let's play it.
Oh no!
Here we go. Hold on.
What have I done?
I hear pina.
Do you?
Yeah.
All right.
you're just looking for reasons to hate it.
It's
Yeah, he
actually
is.
it's a letter. It's a letter in the Latino alphabet. An Enya.
Yeah.
Is that actual?
And
letter.
also, she was an old
like
rock
Enya.
She
darling.
was. Yeah. She.
Orinoco Flow.
That's right. That was Enya. I forgot about that. Oh my God.
All right. On my program today,
That song is bizarrely hypnotic too, isn't it?
Which one?
Orinoco Flow.
Oh yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. All right. I'm sorry, Pierre.
Take two.
Try that again, Enya. Sorry.
That's rock and roll.
That's Orinoco Flow.
I like the first one better.
One more time. We're gonna have to go again. I love that. They're in the booth telling her she's got.
And you can take it again.
In the land of peace.
Oh my God.
Let's do that again, Enya.
You don't want to leave it in? I just coughed up a manatee.
God. Someday yodeling's going to come back.
It will be.
It's all rock and roll.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Yodeling is rock and roll.
Except for Rupert Holmes, who is the biggest cancer in music. A tumor that needs to be excised. I wish him unending misery.
Where did he go? He's on the floor.
You killed him.
I'm so
Whatever you're
surprised he
into.
hates it.
I don't hate. Well, I don't love it. I don't embrace it.
Country rock, except for Rupert Holmes, who stinks so badly. He taints everything he touches. Like a plague he is on music.
There goes my peace and love.
Yeah, what do you mean you don't hate? You just tore him apart.
I take it all back.
By the way, somebody texted and said I would listen to an entire show of Steve doing cough tape. You, Kathy, by a miracle, tonight's Phillies game is at 5:07 p.m. for us and many people listening who have the very, very early morning schedules. That is a wonderful thing on a personal note. But things are going to get very exciting at Citizens Bank Park tonight. Exciting over the weekend as well. So we would like to welcome from your Phillies radio broadcast team our good friend, Mr. Greg Murphy. Hey, Greg, how you doing, man?
Everybody.
Yo.
How you guys doing?
We're good, man. Speaking of tired, you've been doing some traveling around. You got to be a little bit wiped out. Anytime, I would imagine, you have to drag yourself out west and then come back, it makes things a little more difficult.
Yeah, you know, it certainly does. I just, when Kathy was doing the traffic there, she mentioned it was Monday, so I wrote that down. So I keep that in mind all day.
Little note.
Yeah, it's a little crazy, but we wouldn't have it any other way, right? This is what it's all about. You work all season to get to this point, and if we have to bounce around a little bit out west and come on back, and if it ends up in a parade, that'll be just fine.
Absolutely. What was it like out that way? The general feel, just overall, when you were in Arizona.
You know, I'll be honest. I thought it was really great. Their crowd was terrific. You know, it's a dome stadium out there, and so the noise is, you know, it pumped in a little bit, and it gets a little bit louder in there. And I thought the energy was really good, and they kind of took it to the Phils for the first two games. But there were a lot of Phillies fans there as well. And when things started to trend in our direction in that final game out there, you could really hear the Phillies fans. They sort of kind of took over, as they often do. And you know, I know the players can feel that, they can hear it, and they kind of thrive off of it. And it was great. It was great. It was obviously a great flight home in the middle of the night, because anytime you're coming off a win and you get on that airplane, things are always good. So.
So I know this is absurd, and I know people who believe this sort of know it's absurd, but it's still something that you kind of go, you know, to bring it back, here, and to have the game played here and take it here at home. I couldn't see a major league team not wanting to close things up as quickly as possible. Yet, sometimes in the back of your, and I'm all for this, by the way, if this is some secret plan, but you know where I'm going with this, Greg, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, the idea that we may get to celebrate tonight here in South Philly in front of the Phillies team or Phillies crowd is awesome. Certainly, they would have liked to have taken care of business in Arizona.
Yeah.
Gotten a couple days off, being able to rest the body, that kind of thing. But the next best thing is coming back here and being able to clinch here. Now, they've got to take care of business. You certainly don't want it to go to a Game 7.
No.
So hopefully they can take care of business tonight with Aaron Nola on the mound. But, yeah, the idea that we're going to hopefully get to celebrate again in our home clubhouse, it's a lot of fun. It certainly is. And the fans that'll be there tonight, I know will bring the energy. And if they get a chance to celebrate as well, good for them.
Greg, it's really fun and interesting to watch the ebbs and flows of a series. And we were at a charity event on Thursday night, and they lost that game 2-1. And I could take that one, right? It wasn't great, but sometimes the bats aren't working or whatever. The loss on Friday night was hard to swallow. It was not a fun game to watch. The bullpen games just go long, and Kimbrel didn't pitch very well, to put it mildly. And so that was a game that I really felt like they should have won and that they let get away. But then to watch them come back on Saturday and see Wheeler dominate the way that he has, and then the bats came back, and it was like, all right, that's what this team kind of has been all season, right? Like there are games where not everything clicks, but then on Saturday night, it really looked like the best version of what the Phillies have to offer up, and it was just like, all right, this is the win that I kind of hoped for and expected, and then bring it back and get Nola going tonight.
Yeah, and Nick, you know, it's the beauty of baseball, right? It's so different than any other sport in that, you know, even though every loss feels like it might be the end of the world, it very rarely is. The season's so long, and even these these 7-game series are so long, and you're going to lose games. That's just the way it is in baseball. The ability to bounce back after tough losses, I think, says a lot about a team. And we have seen over the past 2 seasons, and I don't know if it's Rob Thompson, I think he deserves a lot of credit, and his coaching staff, and certainly these players, but they're able to put bad losses behind them as quick as any team as I've ever covered, and they just forget about it. And they look forward. They look forward to the next challenge, the next day. And because they're able to do that, it never feels like a dire situation for them. And that's what this is all about. They bounce back, and that they did it in Arizona, and hopefully now they can just close things out tonight.
You just said it, because that to me, again, I'm not, I'm not just wrapped up in all. Obviously, I'm the kind of fan that long-term hardcore fans, hey, because I kind of jump on board when it looks promising. But in this case, that is an amazing thing. You have to be self-possessed. You have to know your capability to be able to roll and say, okay, we move forward. Because I'd be crushed. I don't possess the stuff that would allow me to turn around on a dime and get back on your game. It's amazing how quickly they're able to do that.
Yeah, it really is. And I think part of it is because of the nature of baseball. You don't really have a choice. You're playing 162 games. You're playing almost every night throughout the course of the summer. You really can't sit there and worry about what has already happened. And, early in the season, they didn't play well in April and May, and it felt as though the sky was falling, and, hey, they're not going to get back to where they want to be, and all of that. But I think that the guys that are, in that clubhouse, and the guys that are people that are closest to the players, they understood we have plenty of time. We'll get this thing right, and they did. And that's exactly what they did last year. And I really think that ability to be able to kind of flush what's not going right and just kind of look ahead is really what's made this team as successful as they've been over the last 2 years. And they're going to lose. Hopefully they win tonight, and they'll head into the World Series, but the chances of them sweeping any team in the World Series is probably pretty slim. They're going to lose another game or two, but that's okay as long as they get to where they need to be.
There are so many positives on this team, Greg, and what Schwarber and Harper have done really is unreal. It blows the mind. The number of home runs these guys hit, the clutch home runs these guys hit, the NLCS alone for Kyle Schwarber is just unbelievable. And you're around these guys a lot. You go to every game, or you're almost at every game. Can you explain it? Because I can't.
No, you know what? It's great players stepping up at the biggest moments. We talked a little bit about this on the broadcast the other night. When you look at this Phillies team, it really was a must-win in that final game in Arizona. And your biggest stars are the ones that came through. Zach Wheeler out there on the mound, he did what he needed to do. Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper, JT Realmuto, the guys that you expected to be superstars coming into this season are stepping up at the biggest moments and kind of putting the rest of the team on their backs and saying, come on, we've got this. And that's what you need. Great teams need their great players to play great. And right now, the Phillies' great players are playing great.
At those great moments, Greg, do you think it's and it's probably different for every person, but as they're standing at the plate and they realize they got to make a clutch hit or some kind of a play here, are they thinking, I have to do this now? Or are they just thinking, well, here, I'm doing what I normally do and just going to, because if you can set that pressure aside, that might loosen you up. Or are you hyper-focused that the pressure is on and you just know how to deliver? I don't know the answer to that, but that's why I'm asking you.
Yeah, well, and I've never been in that situation either, but I've talked to folks that have been, obviously, and I think it's the latter. I think they're hyper-focused at that moment. Playing baseball with the idea of I gotta do blank is something it's really difficult to do. You put that pressure on you. It's a hard enough game to begin with, and then if you're putting that kind of pressure on yourself, that's when you hear guys say they're pressing a little bit. That never works in the game of baseball. Mm-mm. I think these guys, the Kyle Schwarbers of the world, the Bryce Harpers of the world, are able to kind of block all of that out and just put themselves in the moment, realizing that this is something they've done their entire lives, trying to hit a baseball and trying to barrel it up and do something good. And they're able to kind of put everything else aside and just concentrate on the job at hand. And I think that's what makes again, great players are able to do that.
Yeah.
Not everybody's able to do that, but these big-time stars are.
My only personal experience with that is I play golf, and I know if I'm standing over like a 4-foot putt on the 18th and going, you have to make this.
Yeah.
It never works.
No.
It never works.
Exactly right.
You psych yourself out.
But these guys, you talk about somebody like Kyle Schwarber, and I'm just looking here, and this is just the regular season, but, the guy had 718 plate appearances, right? So when and that's just this season.
Yeah.
You think about
That's
the
insane.
thousands and thousands and thousands of times that he has sat, in that batter's box waiting for a pitch to be delivered. Maybe he is, because he has done it so many times, he's able to block out all that other noise.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. And, he spoke about this the other day. We were talking to him, and he said, look, I'm a guy that strikes out a lot. I'm a guy that walks a lot, and I'm a guy that hits a lot of home runs. But he said, I'm not trying to do any of those things when I get to the plate. I'm only trying to do the one thing, and that is put the barrel of the bat on the baseball. And whatever happens after that is really out of my control. And it's really, they narrow it down to that single mindset to try and do one thing. Everything else kind of goes away. And for these guys, the great players with the great talent, they're able to do it more often than not.
So the anticipation is on high, obviously, for later on. They're greasing the poles. They've even greased Joel Embiid, from what I understand.
Oh, wow. Very tall.
So how, again, the worst thing you can ask someone in your position, but how do you see it playing out this evening?
You know what? Honestly, I would be very surprised if we're not trying to climb those poles tonight.
Okay.
I certainly am going to try because, look, you've got Aaron Nola going to the mound tonight.
Right.
One of your aces. He's been absolutely terrific this postseason. He's kind of made a couple adjustments late in the season, and they've worked for him. And I think the energy in that place, the Phillies are 6-0 at home in the postseason this year. And there's a reason for that. It's a tough place to play for anybody else. It just is. And I think the energy is going to be off the charts today. The 5 o'clock start, as you guys mentioned, I think is good for all of us. It just it allows everybody to be at their peak. And I think Arizona is going to have a really tough time. I really do.
Good.
And if Aaron gets out there and gets off to a quick start, I think this one could be pretty lopsided.
Yeah, I
That's
agree.
what I'm hoping.
I agree with you, Greg. Top to bottom, the lineup really is just so impressive. And even guys that aren't hitting that great, Bohm has been fantastic in the field. Stott had a good game the other night, but that diving play that Stott made on Saturday night was just so impressive. And so even if they're not getting the hits, they're doing something. Rojas had a triple the other night. I mean, that's what I love about this team is that other guys pick up the dudes who aren't playing or who aren't hitting well, and they'll make up for it in other parts of their game.
Yeah, Rob Thompson has said it all season long. He said this team is built for the postseason, and it's because everybody kind of understands their role. You do have guys that you rely on to hit the ball out of the ballpark, but then you have guys you rely on like Johan Rojas to just go and catch the baseball, and Bryson Stott's become one of those guys. And obviously JT Realmuto behind the plate, and you've got 3 good starters, and you've got a pretty good bullpen. So this team is built for this time of the year, these short series. And, hopefully they can, as I said, they can close it out tonight.
Yeah.
And start to look forward to either Texas or Houston. We still don't know who they would play.
We're going to find out. Hey, I don't know how much FaceTime you get with any of these players, but, man, do they just seem like they're the most likable guys that I can remember in recent history. And in particular, Bryce Harper just seems like a cool dude. Now, our general manager, Joe, apparently is friends with Bryce Harper, and he said, I was surprised. This is what Joe Bell, our general manager, just sent in an email. I was surprised to get a text last night from Bryce Harper. He said, Joe, the Fightins can feel the support of everyone at Beasley, Philadelphia. We don't want to start the game. No, we won't start the game unless your crew is on board to root us on. So right now, what Bryce wants, Bryce gets.
Wow.
We're closing the office at 3 p.m., but only if you promise to watch or, better yet, go to the game. And so, I mean, that's from
a Beasley-wide initiative.
Yeah, that is from Bryce Harper to
personally.
Beasley. Yes.
Wow, that's amazing.
That's pretty cool.
That is awesome.
Because you would figure, Greg, he'd be preoccupied.
Yeah, you would think he'd be a little bit busy.
But to send out a personal.
That's the kind of guy Bryce Harper is.
Yeah. Would take the time to write various businesses and ask for them to shut down early.
Yeah, Yeah, I wonder if he did that to all the mom and pop shops all over the place.
I guarantee you he did.
He's
Yes.
just that kind of guy.
The hoagie place on your corner right now is getting an email. So.
Yeah, you know what? They just closed.
They just closed.
Greg, what time do you get down there for afternoon games or evening games? Like if it's a 5 p.m. start, what time do you have to show up?
I'll be leaving pretty soon. I'll get down there about 11 o'clock today and start getting things going. Clubhouse opens around 1 o'clock, so it's our chance to talk to the guys and get our shows ready and that kind of thing. So we'll be down there pretty early. Time flies when you're down there at this time of the year, for
Greg,
sure.
Nick had mentioned something to me from last week, and I didn't do any follow-ups on this at all, but should the Phils do what we all want them to do and make it to the big series, Rhys Hoskins, was there a plan for him to rejoin the roster if that's the case?
Well, there's a possibility. It's out there. He's down in Florida right now. Actually, I would not be surprised if he's come back to Philadelphia, but I don't know that for sure.
I would hope so.
But he's been down in Florida. He's been working out. He's getting close to the point where he might be able to play. And if they think that he could be a right-handed bat off the bench in the World Series, they can add him to the roster. It is a possibility. But he's going to have to be ready to go. And he's going to have to believe he's ready to go, and they're going to have to believe it as well, because these roster spots are pretty valuable at this time of the year. But, boy, to have him back in the clubhouse and have him come out onto the field, that would be one unbelievable moment in Philly sports if that were to happen.
Greg, I wanted to ask you one more baseball question because the ALCS really has been fascinating. The home team has not won a game yet all series. I did not expect the Rangers to win last night. They did. They won pretty easily, a grand slam in the ninth. And I think this is only the second time in postseason history where the road team has won every game. Do you know if that's true?
I don't know if that particular part is true, but it has been amazing. I mean, you certainly, the old adage in sports is in a 7-game series, it's not a series until one of the teams wins one game on the road. It's been the complete opposite there. They've won all the games on the road. Very interesting. Those two teams, I thought they were the two best teams in the American League, and they are battling it out. Whoever pulls it out is going to be a tough opponent for the Phils going forward, regardless, Houston or Texas. But I think the best news for Phillies fans is that series has gone 7 games. The more that they can play, beat themselves up, that kind of thing, is a good thing for the Phillies. So I hope it goes 24 innings tonight.
We'll keep our fingers crossed.
Dear God.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Excellent. All right. Well, Greg, we appreciate the heads up. We're looking forward to, obviously, the game tonight, your coverage and all that good stuff. And, nothing but thinking about positive thoughts and
climbing poles.
Baby to bed and climbing poles.
Yeah. Yeah, let's get a win. Let's do it quickly. Let's all get some sleep after that.
Yes. For real. All right. Thanks, Greg. Great to talk to you, man.
All right, guys. Thanks so much.
Greg Murphy. Phillies radio broadcast team. We're going out to see a win like that on Saturday night. I know, obviously Thursday and Friday were tough to stomach, but
the number of Phils fans in attendance, especially on Saturday. I think Saturday was the only sellout of all 3 games over the weekend, and there were just a ton of Phils fans there.
There were apparently, Nick, to the thing we were talking about last week, there were apparently fans just buying up seats to keep them empty.
They were cheap enough.
Yeah.
and then $19 in some regards. Yeah.
On Saturday, Steve, because the Diamondbacks had won games 3 and 4, they actually there was a decent walk up from Arizona fans on Saturday. Right. But there were still a ton of Phillies fans in attendance.
By the way, stuff at the ballpark tonight. The pregame stuff gets started like 2:30.
Yeah,
2:30. Yeah. 2:37. I don't know why it's specific. Oh, gates open at 2:37.
Gates open at 2:37. Yeah, because I guess that is X amount of hours and a half.
And pregame festivities start at 4:40.
But so we had a woman email us asking because she said, "I'm not much of a drinker. I'm going to the game. Is there anything?" I mean, there is so much to do down there. So if you do want to get down there early, there's plenty to do outside of the ballpark, inside the ballpark.
Ticket or not, I mean, there's just a great vibe.
Yeah,
they
normally
really
I don't go in.
Job.
I don't go in super early, but these events I do because like batting practice, you could just sit there and try and catch home runs back there. We did that last year for the World Series, and the only thing I was disappointed about was that the ball that we ended up catching, we caught. it wasn't a World Series ball. I was hoping that it would have like some sort of like World Seriesness
Right,
on it.
yeah,
It was just a
yeah.
regular baseball.
Just said nondescript ball.
I might go down there early just to be, a part of the traffic, just to sit in that,
Just
and
to
feel
be
like I was
there.
a part of
That.
something.
Yeah.
And
keep a revolver on the passenger seat.
Sure. Yeah. Well, anyhow, it's exciting, and I am very happy that it's starting early tonight. But the weather's going to be great. This is good vibes all the way around. Yep.
Yeah.
So if the Phils win tonight and the Rangers win tonight, the Phillies start the World Series on the road. If the Phillies win tonight and the Astros win tonight, the Phillies start the World Series at home.
Who do you
this
want?
weekend.
Which do you prefer?
I want home because I would love to be able to go to a home World Series weekend game if that opportunity presents itself. And to have Friday and Saturday night in South Philadelphia, I think would be incredible.
I'm the same way. I don't know enough about the two teams to understand which would be the best matchup. I know that they were swept by Texas.
Yeah, I don't think it really matters at this
right.
point.
It's a totally different time of the season.
Those two teams were even. They had the same record, identical record at the end of the season. They had they played each other even all season long, and now they've won. It's 3-3 in this series. So those two teams match up against each other really well. And it'll, the Game 7 really is a toss-up at this point.
But having home field advantage and starting on the weekend, that's a couple of good reasons to want Houston to win.
Yes.
So, all right, well, we'll see what happens. We're going to break. We're going to be back in a moment. Casey, we had some of those giveaways.
The Five Nights at Freddy's?
Yeah, for Wednesday. We've got an event coming up on Wednesday at the AMC Cherry Hills. 5 Nights at Freddy's. We have an advanced screening of the movie. And we'll take callers 10 and 11 at 215-263-WMMR, and you'll be able to go. It's at 7 p.m. at the AMC Cherry Hill. If you go to WMMR.com, there's another shot for you to win tickets there. You'll find 5 Nights at Freddy's, which is rated PG-13 in theaters and on Peacock October 27th. So callers 10 and 11. We'll set you up, and we'll be right back.
Preston and Steve.
Okay. I'll leave you with one more thing.
If you like me,
Rage on and have a great day, gang. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Please welcome the one and only Mr. Mickey Hart.
Yay! All right.
Morning,
okay. Wow, I love the way you did that.
Well, thank you. I love the way you're
that was really great. You had rhythm. You had rhythm.
See?
Thank you.
Who could ask for anything more?
Let's get right into that. I love that you love rhythm so much. It's a huge part of your life.
It's everything.
Yeah.
It's not melody and it's not harmony, but it certainly is rhythm.
You were exposed to percussive instruments and rhythm early on. Your dad was well known and well respected. And
I wouldn't go that far.
He was a musician?
He was a musician?
Okay.
I wouldn't go that far.
Oh, really? All right.
But he did dabble.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
More
And
than
then,
dabble,
and then
actually.
you were working in a you had a job and you were it was
I had a job once.
a jazz club.
Once.
Yeah.
A long time ago. I can't remember having the last time I had a job. Just thinking,
You don't call this a
thinking
job?
of the idea of having to have a job just gives me the willies. I mean, what would I do with the job? Oh my God.
You wouldn't be a 9-to-5 guy working the cubicle.
No, I doubt it. But if I had to, I would.
You would.
Yeah, but I don't have to, and I won't.
Yeah.
But so you don't view what you do as a job?
Oh no, it's a service. It's a service industry. I mean, that's what music is all about. You provide a place where people can come and have an emotional moment,
right?
And ritualize. So, yeah, I know, and I think it's very profound, and I'm very, what should I say, honored or blessed or whatever you want to call it, to happen to fall into this universe as a percussionist or a drummer. To be able to do that is,
But maybe even people.
It's a good thing.
Yes. People who are maybe in the same situation as you, viewing it as a job. The fact that you don't view it as you view it the way you do.
It's not easy, but it's not like a job. It's like when I get up in the morning, the first thing I do is think of, the new day and what kind of new rhythms there are in it and how I can interpret that. And that's what musicians do. They interpret, society and whatsoever you've seen or whatever it is, and they lay down that groove. every 5-10 years you find a new groove, and you work at it. Yeah, you do work at it, but you work at play. You work to play.
Sure.
You have to keep your skill up. I play every day 2-3 hours.
Do you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? Absolutely. In order to get up there and do what I do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an athletic event. It's not like lounge drumming and stuff. This is the power stuff.
Well, speaking of reinventing and finding new grooves, I want to ask you about John Mayer, because he's been with the band and touring with you guys for a stretch now. And I think a lot of people initially dismissed him as poppy and not the really great, incredible guitarist that he is. And from my perspective, he seems like the perfect fit for the Dead, because he holds you guys in reverence, but he can also hold his own. What are your impressions on John?
John's a sharpshooter.
Yeah.
He's a gunslinger, as it were. And his guitar, he's beautiful. He plays great. He fits perfectly in the band, and he's a nice guy. I mean, I know he has this reputation and all that stuff, but I've never had a moment of weirdness with him. He's just a very pleasant person to be around, and he plays his ass off.
Before he was a star, he played in the conference room down the hall in these offices. And I went to see his show that night, and one of his strings broke during the performance. He tuned the guitar to itself and kept it. He didn't miss a beat. And right then, I knew this guy had it, and I was so impressed by his ability.
I'll tell you when I knew he had it was one day when he was just joined the band, and I had gotten him into this droning things, feeding back, getting a little crazy. And so during the drums and bass part, he got down on his knee and he put the guitar into the speaker and he started feeding back. And I was looking at him and I was saying, oh, okay. So I walked around to the front of the speaker, sat down right next to him, and I had on one hand I had what do you call it, lighter fluid.
Yeah.
And the other hand I had a Bic.
Okay.
And so he looked at me, I looked at him, and I went like that. And for a minute, I thought he was going to do it. And then so he took it. He did take it while he was feeding back, and he put he put the Bic on his amplifier, and he took the lighter fluid and used it as a slide. And so he played slides without lighter
didn't go
fluid.
full Hendrix on you.
And I said, John, you were going to do it, weren't you? And he said, I was really thinking about it, but the guy who makes my guitar is in the audience. I couldn't do it. He almost lit his guitar on fire, so I knew right then he was okay.
Wow. I was wondering if you had watched the Grateful Dead documentary that was on Amazon, and what your thoughts are.
No.
It was very, very in depth.
Oh God, it was just awful. I just did not like it.
You didn't care for it.
It was just a one-sided affair, and it was not for me. And it really didn't show the Grateful Dead in its totality. It was more like a Jerry, whatever that is, memorial thing or whatever. He was trying to do, but it wasn't really. It didn't have the heart of the Grateful Dead.
Okay.
That's for sure.
There's been a lot done about it.
They made me watch. Oh, I watched it once.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to say I didn't like it. But that's it. I didn't see it at the premiere. Me and Bob and Bill, we went out and had dinner.
Yeah.
While they showed the movie.
That's funny.
We came back right at the end when they all started. And we go, okay.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you about some of the things that you do like. I was listening to the concert in Paris, 1974, this morning.
Yeah.
What was it besides the United States? What was your favorite country to play in?
Oh, Jesus, that's a good question. I think that I can't answer that question because they're all good when you play good. Every country is the same.
Yeah.
If the music is played well and we have a great time, France is great, England's great, Germany, it's all good if we play well. If we don't play well, the city sucks.
It's this place.
We blame it on the city.
Blame it on the city.
Of course.
Yeah.
Franklin Port.
I also, as a fan, there's an ebb and flow to the way I listen to your music, and so recently I flowed back to. I guess I ebbed back to. I ebbed back to studio albums. Do you? I don't know if you ever listen to your own music.
No.
But do you have a favorite studio album?
Yeah, I would have to say it would be, it was half studio and half live. It was called Anthem of the Sun. I think it was our second record, back in 3,000 years ago.
Yeah.
And that was probably my favorite. American Beauty, Working Man's Dead. They were nice, fuzzy, warm.
See, my first album I ever bought was Mars Hotel, so I automatically go back to that one. And Unbroken Chain. And
we were never very good in the studio. We never could cage the animal in the studio.
When did you realize that? It seemed to be early on.
Yeah, well, we thought we could make. No one knew how to make a record. But I mean, we didn't know how to make anything. We were just musicians at the time, and we weren't really savvy on the studio. No one had a studio.
Right
now, I have a studio. Everybody has a studio, so we just weren't producible. There was too much anarchy. In the band. Too many people wanting to do. They had strong opinions of it. So, and we never really liked it in the studio with the four walls. It was too captivating. We were like a captive in the studio. And we never really made a great record.
You guys had a pop explosion in the late 80s when you hit with Touch of Grey and Hell in a Bucket, In the Dark. Was that fun? Was that cool? Was it neat seeing a whole bunch of people who maybe had not been turned? You always had legions of loyal fans, but here all of a sudden, boom, you had fresh music. And the tour was gigantic. Was it fun?
Oh, yeah, it was fun, but it wasn't quite like that.
Okay.
What happened was we were already playing stadiums at the time. That was in 87.
Yeah.
So instead of playing 1 or 2 days at the stadium, we were playing 3 days at the stadium.
Yeah.
So it really didn't affect us much. We just
You guys were touring sold-out shows anyway.
We didn't feel it, which we were playing stadiums.
Yeah, but you know what? I found out about you guys because of the Touch of Grey. There was a music video. I was young at the time, so so you guys had a music video, so you were totally reaching an audience. That,
we never did the videos or anything. We never did a single. So we weren't really part of the music industry. We never played that game, and if we lived by the single, we would die by the single. If we didn't have a hit.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's funny because I remember becoming aware of the Grateful Dead, through the iconic artwork that was associated with the band.
Yep.
What's that about? What's that about? So that predates, obviously, videos, but still, a visual medium brought me into the awareness of the music, which is very cool.
Exactly. It mirrored the music. In the old days, how that started was these artists would come to the shows, and we were all getting high, and psychoactive drugs, taking acid and whatever. And these were physical representations of what the music sounded like. They would go home and they would start painting, and they're still high, and that's what these things were representing. They were representing the music.
How were you vetting that, or was it just sort of, if you want to do it, or would you guys kind of consciously say, I don't like that, doesn't represent our band right, or was it just an open source?
Well, luckily in our case, the people would come up with these incredible,
iconic stuff.
Yeah. We just had to choose between the good stuff. I mean, it was so much good around. And a lot of people went home and just did it, and it was uncommissioned.
Yeah,
they just went out and said, "This has to be done."
Wow.
And so then all of a sudden we looked at them, we go, "That's us." And they go, "Okay, cool.
That's cool.
That's it."
Let me ask you, with the art and your painting, I mean, did people automatically take to it? Were you afraid you were going to get here's a musician trying to be a painter sort of deal?
I'm not afraid.
Yeah. So what was that jump like, and how well were you received initially? Because I mean, honestly, we were looking at the stuff. It's pretty amazing looking.
There it is.
Yeah. So what was that initially like?
Well, I didn't think of it as it's art.
It is
came out. It's you follow the muse. I mean, you're an artist. The thing that turns you on, makes you do things artistically. And first time I did it.
93 WMMR.
Okay, collected some stories over the weekend. I would like to share them with you in form of the Bizarre File.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you this morning by the Bates Motel and Haunted Attractions in Glen Mills. It's #1 rated haunted attraction in America. Open now through Halloween. You can get your tickets and reserve your time now at the Bates Motel BatesMotel.com. Speaking of all things Halloween with the Bates Motel there, a Czech parish priest has apologized to local children after stomping on Halloween pumpkins near his church.
Son of a bitch.
Father Yoromir Smejkal.
These freaking things.
Destroyed the carved pumpkins on 2 successive days. He has apologized for the vandalism in an open letter to the mayor and published it on the village Facebook page.
Preston, this is because they're pagan?
Yeah, he said that he would have acted differently had he known that they were carved by children. He said, leaving the rectory on Sunday evening, I saw numerous symbols of the satanic feast of Halloween placed in front of our sacred grounds.
And then with the Phil's loss.
He said, I acted according to my faith and duty to be a father and protector of the children entrusted to me and removed these symbols. He added that in his view, the modern tradition of Halloween had been conceived in, quote, a heathen contemporary world as a counterbalance to the Catholic feast of All Souls Day. The local children had carved the pumpkins as part of Halloween festivities organized by the village. Some children are said to have been in tears when they were told their creations had been destroyed.
Don't cry, little one.
New pumpkins were left in the park, but were found scattered and stomped on the next day. Father Smejkal said that it had not been in his intention to harm anyone, especially not children. So he's apologized.
It's a bad day. I have migraine and I forgot my keys.
He's describing my day for those of you who do not know. There's an ostensible TikTok trend in which young men claim that they are hitting themselves in the face with hammers in an attempt to look more masculine.
What the hell?
Kathy, wouldn't you be turned on by a guy who beat himself in the face with a hammer?
Dumbest thing I ever heard.
In recent weeks, videos, screenshots, and articles about the alleged trend called bone smashing or bone mashing have sprung up on TikTok. According to ER Dr. Josh Trebach, he said, this is dumb, unsafe, and there is no evidence that this even works. Please Please do not hit yourself in the face with a hammer.
Again, what is the desire you're going to show you're masculine by hitting yourself in the face with a hammer?
I will elaborate. There's no evidence that the deranged sounding trend is actually happening, with the current hashtag on TikTok being populated primarily with satire or warnings against the purported practice.
Yes.
Unsurprisingly, contextless articles fear-mongering about the trend have begun striking much the same tenor as the FDA's warning to not douse chicken in NyQuil, which happened back when a TikTok hoax was making headlines. You guys remember that, right?
I like that one, though.
All right, so the moronic idea is based on what is known as Wolff's Law, which references 19th century German doctor and surgeon Julius Wolff, who asserted that bones become stronger in response to stress.
Yeah.
While he was partially correct, the bones of weightlifters do, for instance, become denser, and the bones of astronauts do thin out. People have long misinterpreted Wolff's Law to mean that broken bones will grow back stronger, which doctors say is absolutely not the case.
So if you want a strong face,
beat it with a hammer. So
you guy's got the strongest face I've ever seen.
A small subsection of TikTok posts under the bone smashing hashtag seem to have been posted by proponents of what's called looks maxing, a whacked out incel subculture that suggests that men can benefit sexually or socially if they change their looks to appear more masculine. Bone smashing and looks maxing both date back to at least 2018, when men would take to forums to brutally criticize each other to spur self-improvement. So they say it's rooted in that somehow or another, but it's clearly not true, and no one is actually doing this, and it definitely doesn't work. So don't fall for it.
Yeah, all of it seems kind of kooky to me.
Yeah.
Though maybe a screwdriver. I'll start light.
Yeah, go easy at first. You know, maybe an Allen wrench.
Work my way up to the hammer.
A Florida man accused, and now this is a gruesome story, but there's a bizarre file twist to it. A Florida man accused of beating and strangling his wife to death in their Orlando home has been found guilty by a jury Wednesday night. David Trons was sentenced to life in prison nearly 5 years after murdering his wife, Shanti Cooper Trons. It was after, apparently, she refused to be a part of a home renovation reality show.
Oh, man.
Called Zombie House Flipping. The couple...
Zombie house?
Yes. The couple was in the process of renovating their home, which quickly turned into a money pit. Investigators say David was hoping to get on the reality show to bail out the project.
Hey, if I kill you, we can get on the show.
She didn't want to be on the show, and so that's why he killed her.
Oh, I see.
Friends of Shanti told police that she was excited about possibly being on the reality show, but detectives believe that she was upset with the project and was making plans to leave David. The state said the renovation project was causing a lot of financial issues, and Shanti's name was not on the deed, and she was pressuring David to do it.
You're not going to ruin my chance to be the next William Hung.
A state prosecutor, or maybe it was the other way around.
Both ways is stupid.
His wife after she refused to be. Oh, anyway, a state prosecutor said David had a motive to murder his wife after she was not on board with the reality show.
Yeah,
saying that is an intent to kill. David initially claimed he found his wife passed out in the bathtub, submerged and bleeding.
Is there any wiggle room when you murder someone because of a reality show?
At the family's request, the death penalty had been dismissed, by the way.
Huh.
All right, and then we'll do one more story. Casey, you've been to Lake Winnipesaukee before, right?
Yes, I have.
Well, a man is dead after mistakenly driving his SUV into Lake Winnipesaukee.
That town, that's where I stayed, Moultonboro.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Crews were called to the scene. Police said Barry Haight, 77 years old, was driving in a cul-de-sac when he mistakenly went down a boat ramp into the water.
Oh, boy.
Getting trapped in the submerged vehicle. Family and neighbors had been out looking for Haight after he failed to return home
Something's wrong.
from a trip to the community dumpster. They believe that he was trapped in the SUV for about an hour and a half before he was found.
You would be surprised how often that happens where people drive, especially at night, they'll drive down boat ramps into the water not realizing.
Yeah, a retired firefighter lives in one of the houses by the water. He had gotten into the water, retrieved the person out of the car, and was actively doing CPR when the fire chief arrived. Haight was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead, but he just drove right into the lake and could not get out of the vehicle and drowned. That's a horrible story, but unfortunately, that's the last one I have for you in the bizarre file.
It's like one of those really old jokes you were telling earlier.
I know, just like that.
Just
Just
sad.
No.
Yeah.
All right, and there you go. That is the bizarre file. We're going to take a break and come back in a moment, and we'll see if you've been paying attention. We have a lesson question from today's program. Trash and music news up as well, so stay with us.
And my daughter looked at it and he said, "You know, Dad, this got legs."
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Legs. He liked it.
Yeah.
And so if my daughter liked it, and she doesn't like much.
Does she like the dead? Does she like
that?
Okay.
So I said, "Okay, I'll paint it. If you like it, I'll paint it."
You can take a look for yourself and see Mickey Hart's work. It's called Vibrational Expressionism, The Art of Mickey Hart. And Sunday, back out this way, King of Prussia, noon to 2. Is there a spot where we can go to get all this information, a website or anything, you guys?
I just want to meet the King of Prussia.
Yes, we all do.
And I want to see Mrs. Prussia.
Sure.
Mr. Prussia. And all of the little Prussias.
All the Prussians. Yeah.
I'm actually Mrs. Prussia.
She is.
Yeah.
She shops there all the time.
I heard that she cooks.
Oh,
You heard wrong.
have heard wrong, sir.
Wrong, Mrs. Prussia.
She makes reservations. Yeah.
I can make a mean reservation.
She makes a mean reservation.
She makes a mean Romanoff.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give some love to the one and only Mr. Mickey Hart.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming by. Do you remember the squirtable butter used to come in a thing?
Yeah, butter spray.
Is that what?
I
no,
can't
not
believe it's
spray,
not
not
butter.
spray.
There's an actual like liquid, almost
Really?
like
liquidy
like the way you
butter.
dispense mustard.
It was
I don't
more
remember
back in the 80s probably, and if you had a waffle, you could go blink, 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 blink in each little.
If I had a waffle,
Each little
I'd eat it
crevice.
in the morning.
Yeah, there
do
we go.
you need
Parkway.
butter in every little square?
You do.
If you're
If you're a man.
If you're a man. No.
Okay.
No, I obsess about little things like that.
Okay.
It's just like weird.
So your answer is yes, you do.
Yeah, I have a butter memory with Preston that is probably 19 years old. Do you know what it is?
Memories.
Butter memory.
Preston, do you remember the butter memory?
That's probably 19 years old.
19 years old.
Butter memories.
You would have to butter memories. You would have to give me a hint.
Me, you, Steve, and Marilyn.
Wow.
that wraps it up.
Butterfest,
did a show
1998.
for 3 years together.
Media Court Diner.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
You know the butter memory?
Yeah.
Oh, well, do tell.
So we're sitting there, and it's after we had done a show, and we're having lunch, and
we're all just getting to know each other, by the way.
Yeah, we're all getting to know each other, and so they had a little ramekin full of butter, which is a small dish. And so I guess it was a ball of butter or something like that. And we're just talking, and I just reach out and grab it and just squish it with my hand, just to be outrageous,
provocative.
I'm like, ooh, butter, and I did that, and he died laughing. So.
I was like, what? I wish I would have done that. That looked fun.
Butter memories.
But if I owned a diner and
I dine in the morning,
and I was serving waffles, there would be a special little spray that I would put melted butter in so that you could go.
You would keep it like you could even have it as you could have the way you have a mug warmer where your butter could be on it and with the pump so that you could dispense that way.
Now it would need to be more like misty,
like a fire hose.
No, like
a spray bottle,
like a spray bottle, like you would spray your indoor plants.
Like a spritz.
I disagree. I think that the butter, like the spray butter, you're lessening the quality of the butter product. And if you're going to have like actual butter, you're going to need to have like a vat of melted butter. This is your diner, so I'm not trying to tell you how to run your business.
You open your own diner next door and do
your own goddamn
normal, boring pats of butter.
I kind of want to work with you, like almost like as if I was your therapist, and to make you okay with not having butter in every square. Like it's all right.
No, I know.
It's still going to taste good. You're going to get enough butter.
Believe me, I've
Touchstone Pictures. He had to have butter in every square until a concerned therapist came into his life. My name is Romano. I think I can help you.
Then we need some good music, like
yes,
Peter
inspiring.
Gabriel,
Salisbury Hill.
Salisbury Hill. Yeah. See if you can pull that. So the serious part when he realizes he has a problem.
Oh no, I can't even get it together anymore. Every time I go into the diner, I start trembling like crazy. I think I know someone you can talk to. And then she came into his life. My name's Romano, and today's the day we start making changes. From Touchstone Pictures, the story of a boy who learned now how to not have butter in every square of his waffle. Butter squareless waffle boy.
Butter squareless waffle boy.
Or something to that effect.
It's a butter therapist.
I feel like I already went through this with Jace. Like at breakfast time. It's okay, honey.
Unbutterable.
Is that the name of the movie?
Yeah.
I'm doing it!
I heard recently that isn't even, I mean, just the old, sneaking the look at your next door neighbor's paper is not necessarily the chosen form of cheating these days, because so much stuff is done online now that students are using Google Docs quite a bit to cheat with.
All the time.
Yeah.
And so now they're trying to make, in fact, they've said they've noticed a general increase in grades that they believe is artificially manipulated.
Really?
And so much so that Google itself has stepped up and has, like I'm looking at an article here, they're trying to set up ways to prevent Google Docs being used for cheating.
So here's the way I understand that this works, and if I'm wrong, please tell me.
Yeah.
We've got students here, we've got strippers that know the answers as well, because Victoria was chiming in on this while we were off air. That if someone takes a test in a class before you, that you're going to have that same class, and they therefore can get that exact exam that you're about to take and send that to you before you take the exam. Is that kind of the way it works? Is that what I understand?
You know who knows?
Ben knows. Ben, come in here.
Ben here.
Intern Ben, we're going to get him on the mic. And by the way, Ben, are you currently a student?
Yes, I go to Temple University right now. I've been there for 3 years now.
Okay. All right. So what I was just saying, I know you guys are busy in the other room there. When someone is taking an exam, they can take that exam and give it to someone else who has that same test later on in the day. Is that how it works?
So it totally depends, but like a lot of the times, it will just be on your laptop in class, and it's impossible to govern everyone's laptop, as you can imagine.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
You all right?
Had to run in.
He's a little nervous.
I was wondering why you talk like that. And actually, it's the thing is the Google documents.
I've talked to Ben many times. I've never heard his voice quite like that before.
It's as we matriculate through the process of the Temple University. Of course, enriched by the learning that we have.
So I guess.
Poor kid, you poor kid.
I guess no. Ben doesn't talk like that.
Excited to come on air with us.
We just pulled him in hat by. It's not his fault. It's not his fault.
Off guard, that's all.
Okay. So Ben, I guess what Preston's asking is, how does
Let's start over.
How does the document get disseminated to everyone who's looking to cheat off that original document?
So you can have a Google Doc open on your laptop in like a separate tab, and then you can send it to anybody that has like a Google email. And of course, our school uses Google for everything.
So you can have the Google Doc, I guess, open on a different browser.
Right.
And just sort of toggle between the two, the test and the Google Doc test, Google Doc. I don't know. Gabby's here as well. She's also a student. You know.
What's your take on it?
Yes.
Stop it. I'm just kidding. Poor Ben. We pull him in while he's trying to do other work. So
What's your take on it, Gabby?
Yeah, so if you're in a group, just like in a group, when you're doing one of your assignments, you obviously have everybody's email. So you can set up this Google Doc where you can share everything that you do. So even if you're in one class earlier and you have a friend that's in the next class later in the day, you can just share that document with other people in other classes.
Okay. And Victoria, were you the student? Did you do this or hear about this happening as well? Yes. Why is your mic not on? WMMR, you're so bad. And as we've learned from the Back to School A to Z, that's spelled Y-E-R. You're.
Yep.
Not your so bad. You're so bad. It's 8 minutes after 10 o'clock. And it's a beautiful Monday morning. It's nice when it works out that way. You at least get a little bit of ease in the pain by having a beautiful day to start with. So we have other things of beauty, like the lesson question. And we are going to give away as a prize a float session at Halcyon Floats. Take the stress away and go get in one of their isolation tanks and just float and be. And you can do that if you answer this question correctly. At the end of the Sumerian ox joke / riddle, who owns the calf, according to Steve? You remember this? It's a person.
Yeah.
It's a name from a certain industry. Let's see if you know that. All right. At the end of the Sumerian ox joke / riddle, who owns the calf, according to Steve? 215-263-WMMR. If you heard that and you know it, you should call right now. While you call, we will do the trash.
The trash business is a gold mine. 93.3 WMMR with Preston and Steve's Hollywood Trash.
Let's just get right into it. What's going on this morning, Steve?
Absolutely. Well, actor Jussie Smollett explaining the reason he voluntarily entered a rehab treatment facility, saying he was not being honest with us because he was not being honest with himself. Jussie also revealed that he can fly. Hey! Austin Butler telling Interview Magazine that playing Elvis was terrifying, but prepared him for the future. Butler says he now has a firm grasp on what it takes to date 14-year-olds.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my God.
And I don't know if you saw this, but the image of Hitler, accompanied by a, quote, fun fact, appeared on the Jumbotron at Spartan Stadium during a game Saturday. MSU issued an immediate apology for the mistake and offered everyone in the stadium a complimentary Mussolini Bellini.
All right, we are looking for an answer to the question at the end of the Sumerian ox joke / riddle, who owns the calf, according to Steve. 215-263 WMMR. Our caller is Corey, who we're going to go to. Corey, good morning.
Good morning,
Good morning to see you, Corey. All right, so who owns the ox?
Peter North.
Peter North. You got it, buddy. Or who owns the calf, I should say. All right, hang on, Corey. We are going to give you a float session at Halcyon Floats. And you can stress, stress can be scary. That's what it is. And you can
It'll
relax
twist you up
with a float session from Halcyon Floats, Philadelphia's premier float center. Relax, recover, reset. HalcyonFloats.com.
Now, Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
Can't you give me a straight answer anymore?
All right. Is this an announcement I'm making, Casey?
Yeah. Really?
Okay. Yeah, this is pretty cool. Give me a little drum roll if you don't mind. Sure, yeah. So I would have planned ahead if I were paying attention.
Worn something pretty.
MMR is excited to announce this concert. Tickets for this concert will go on sale at Friday, by the way, at 10 a.m. That's why we're getting in on this early, because the show is not till July 26th.
Wow.
At the Wells Fargo Center. But, gang, it's going to be Blink 182. Yeah. The One More Time tour is going to be taking place with special guest Pierce the Veil. And Pierre's going to have tickets all week long for you to win, which is a pretty sweet deal. There's another chance to win tickets on the contest page at WMMR.com as well. But I'll remind you, the on-sale information, Blink 182 and Pierce the Veil. Tickets on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. via Ticketmaster, and the show is not till Friday. Now, it is on a Friday, which is wonderful. Friday, July 26th. At the Wells Fargo Center, and Pierre will have tickets all week long, and you will have another chance to win tickets on the contest page at WMMR.com. I think that will be an absolute must-see show.
I think so, absolutely, especially with the history.
Without question. You never know. A Kardashian might show up, too.
Yes.
No, but that's really cool. So, Pierre, with your chance to win tickets, make sure that you are on board for that. A couple other things to mention. Black Crowes dropped a new mix of previously unreleased recordings of 99 Pounds. That track is just one of the 14 never-before-released songs from the upcoming box set of their sophomore album, The Southern Harmony and Musical Companion. That album debuted at #1 on the Billboard album chart in 1992 and contained chart toppers like Remedy, Sting Me, and Thorn in My Pride. Thorn in My Pride is such a great song. There's a handful of Black Crow songs that I forget about.
Yes.
You're like,
and then you'll get reminded.
yes.
Yeah.
The new extended version will be available on December 15th, by the way. Neil Young will release his new album, Before and After. That will come out on December 8th. The project will be available in several formats, including limited edition LPs and clear vinyl. About the album, he said, the feeling is captured not in pieces, but as a whole piece, designed to be listened to that way. Songs from my life recently recorded create a music montage with no beginnings or endings.
Is his high-end audio service still in existence? Remember, he had the particular player where everything was recorded at. It was like
I don't remember that.
So yeah, he started this business where he wanted to deliver basically the same sort of quality of vinyl.
It was like an iTunes,
right?
that
You
he
know what I'm
started-
talking about, right?
Yeah, I definitely remember it, and it was higher quality than an MP3. It was supposed to be the best quality you could get for an electric.
And Nick,
or
didn't it have
electronic,
its own
tune.
sort of player, a proprietary player?
It did, yeah. And so, Steve, I'm guessing that because I haven't heard anything about it for the last 5 or 6
it's
years.
not around. Yeah.
I'm going to guess that.
Was it Pone or something?
Yes, something like that.
Pone?
I believe so, yeah.
Pod. Common name is Poon.
I guess Comanche Indian. Man.
Name is
Splooge.
Splooge.
Hi, I'm Neil Young. I'd like to introduce you to Splooge.
There are 13 songs on the album, by the way. So that is called The Before and After, and that is coming out on December 8th. Nick is looking up the...
It was a big rollout. He was putting a lot of money into it. I think, wasn't Jay-Z involved with it peripherally as well?
Yeah, and I know what the intent was, but it was just one of those things where, like, listen, man, we already got iTunes and Spotify and whatever else.
Oh, great. More stuff to buy.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, don't buy it.
Let's see.
See if I care.
Be that way.
I don't like you.
The Long Island Music and Entertainment Hall of Fame will open an exhibit dedicated exclusively to inductee Billy Joel.
Kathy, he's your boy.
He is my boy.
Caroline has become a huge fan of Billy Joel.
Oh, really?
Which is great. Yeah, because we listen to a lot of Billy Joel and Elton John. And Caroline told me the other day, she's like, did you know that they toured together one time? I'm like, yes, it was called the Piano Man Tour. I went to it. I saw
You're
it. It was
delightful,
amazing.
young one.
Yeah.
Come sit at my feet. I shall tell you all.
Opening November 24th, it will showcase over 50 years of Joel's most cherished items, including rare memorabilia, dozens of awards, vintage instruments, and historic photos, many donated by the Long Islander himself. Tickets for Billy Joel, My Life, A Piano Man's Journey are $50, and they are available now.
It was called Pono.
Pono.
Pono. Digital music service by Neil Young. It's still nobody listens to it at all. So
Still happy to report that no one's listening.
it was discontinued in April of 2017.
Okay.
I wonder where they got that name from. Pono.
Pono and Cher.
Oh. I don't know. I wonder if it's short for something.
It was a Hawaiian word for righteousness.
Oh, okay.
Aloha.
Down at the beach. Hanging out at the beach, hanging 10 with Neil Young.
Neil Young.
Yeah.
Hanging 10.
Had time for a
It's
clam
just me
bake.
and Moondoggy.
Yeah, it lasted about 5 years. He debuted it on Letterman
Yeah.
in 2012, and then it discontinued in 2017.
It's amazing.
Pono, we hardly knew ye.
Yeah. I mean, come on. It was really meant to cater to the very pedantic, a word we learned again today, music listener. And it turns out they didn't give a rat's ass.
All right, a couple of clips to play for you as we wrap up music news. Dolly Parton did a cover of Wrecking Ball with Miley Cyrus.
Oh.
And I don't know what this is for. Is this from her rock album?
That's what I was trying to determine. I know that she appeared on a broadcast with Miley. It seems fully produced, so
Okay.
that's what made me believe it's probably on the album, though. Is it technically rock?
I personally don't think so, but you never know. But here's a clip of it. I haven't heard this yet.
Can we dig that up? Because that is so astonishing.
That sounds better than. I mean, it was good in the New Year's Eve special, but that sounds better.
Okay. I'm going to do the vocal fry plus the dog that they.
Yeah. Okay.
This is really good.
All right, here we go.
The journey is usually the part that you remember, anyways.
So much.
The journey is usually the part that you remember, anyways.
Which one was the dog and which one was
The dog was the first one, and Miley was the second.
I feel like she had to have been sick on top of her already
Right.
minimally voice.
Listen to that. It's horrible.
We have a clip of Keith Richards.
Okay. Hang on.
He has a nice voice.
Yeah.
You can hear him in this. He's like, he starts laughing. So let's start with the first one. He talks about playing, well,
this gig that Pierre was at.
I was going to.
We don't have that one.
All right, we're going to do the one, him and friendship with Paul McCartney.
Yes.
Talks about the Stones' longtime friendship. Here we go.
Our relationship with John and Paul and with the Beatles was, it goes back to the 62, 63, you know, and also Paul and John are on a track called We Love You, another track, Dandelion, that John and Paul came by to sing, you know, because they like the Stones too, you know.
Even Gary Lowry goes, gee.
Hey, Connor, are you working on that other Keith Richards clip? You don't have. Okay.
Yeah, we're all good. It's all good. But anyway, but yeah, they go way back. I mean, the Beatles wrote "I Want to Be Your Man," and then just said, "Here, you guys record it."
Yeah,
and they handed it to the Stones. The Stones had a hit with it. So, all right, there you go. That's
Breaking news.
not all I have for you. Apparently, there's breaking news right now.
This is only for us. There's no meeting today.
There's no meeting today.
That means you can go home.
Mondays, we have meetings, and I don't feel good today, so no meeting. And besides, the offices are closing.
They close early.
Yeah. Which I can't figure out why they're doing it for the championship series.
Why not?
And I understand the World Series, but, you know, what it is what it is.
cool
Oh, that's
that they
right.
do.
Bryce Harper sent a personal note.
That's right.
Personal.
I forgot about that. All right, no meeting. Great. All right, so hopefully you don't have a meeting today, too, and you can have a lovely Monday.
No meeting, everyone.
Yeah, it's a no meeting Monday. We're going to take a break. We are going to come back. I've told you about our Word of the Week prize, so we'll get you the first letter for that. If you don't know what it is, don't worry. We'll fill you in when we get back, and we'll find out what's coming up tomorrow. Stay with us.
Yes. So when I was in school, it was just super easy. First of all, the website is pretty, like, once you, like, get it down, it's super easy to, like, use. And yes, like, sharing is, like, so easy, and it's so easy to communicate on there amongst many people.
Did anyone ever flow? I mean, because they're saying that it has had, and Google has actually had to step in to give teachers ways to fight this. Do you know anyone who's ever cheated using the system?
Well, that's what I was going to ask.
I would say.
Actually, no, I'm not aware.
Ben has something to say about the Apple Watches.
Yes.
So not about the Apple Watch, but I do have a story we can go into.
Okay, please do.
So in high
Make it a long
school,
one.
I went to a tech school. So I was in computer programming, obviously.
Right, yeah.
Obviously.
So, but we figured out a way to cheat on the learning guides, which is like our little exercises to learn how to program, but the teacher caught wind of this.
Yeah.
So for a month, every student had to handwrite all their code.
Oh, God.
Because we were cheating, which is like
Writing
Java and HTML, that's awful.
That's crazy. That's all little
We had
symbols.
to handwrite all of it, then we had to type it up, and that was like his way to prevent us from cheating. And I was pissed because I wasn't cheating. I was the one actually doing it right. Because
This
all
is
the other students were.
outlandish. This is absolutely outlandish. I'm going to take you outside and kick your ass.
Did you rat everybody out because you weren't
What am
cheating?
I, a monk? This is ridiculous.
No, Casey, I was trying to be cool.
No. But so how long did it take to take a test like that?
Well, for what would take 5 minutes on the computer was about 25 on the paper.
Jesus.
Just because you got to remember the symbols, you got to squiggle them or whatever.
Just you have to talk through them. Just keep
This
talking.
is the goddamn dumbest thing I've ever heard. It's goddamn ridiculous.
25 on the paper.
No, but I mean, to write, he's talking about writing code is in all symbols and intense stuff. It's,
Preston, get yourself together.
I can't. Steve being outrageous, Ben, is killing me. Oh, this is an outrage.
Preston, the answer wants to chime in here as well.
Oh, yes, Victoria. Yes.
Yeah, don't forget about me. Okay.
I'm
anyways.
sorry, Victoria.
No, it's okay. It's just so funny. I'm listening to how like far people will go to like actually cheat. And I went to a really good school, and we would literally cheat in groups, and the teachers had no idea. That's how
No
oblivious.
idea.
I guess they were just paid so well that like I swear they didn't care.
do you think there's some credence to the fact that schools who rely on, how the school's performing would allow this to happen to
I guess to keep up with
their
the
reviews
standards
and
or
stuff like
whatever.
that?
Yeah.
It's
I mean, I
conceivable.
went to a really good school, so like I guess like high test scores were like super important.
So it's
And-
plausible deniability, right? That you can say, okay, they're just getting good grades.
And what's funny enough, in 9th grade, I actually had a social studies teacher that would literally grade you on like if he liked you or not. Like we would write what we had for breakfast on like literally I would write the most ridiculous answers, and some of them would be right and some of them would be wrong. I swear this man graded you on whether he liked you or not, or maybe your outfit that day. Like I swear
I bet
he
you
didn't
did
care.
very well.
Yes, being stunningly gorgeous helps too.
I passed, by the way. And he
It's gotta be
passed.
so
Like,
hard.
he was a G. He was awesome.
What's going on over here? Just because she's super hot, she passes? I'm here writing goddamn code. My fingers are falling off. She talks about having egos and she gets an A+.
You're a good sport, Ben.
Yeah, that was an outrage, frankly. Goddamn, sounds like I have a rheumatoid arthritis writing all this code. And over here, she says she had a Pop-Tart for breakfast. She has an A+.
I love when you threaten to kick their ass.
Outside now, I'm going to put my foot so far up your ass, you're going to see my big toe coming out your nose.
Oh my God.
All right, we have to wrap this up.
Oh, we do? Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
No.
Officials are working to contain a scabies outbreak.
No. What the hell?
This is at Radnor Middle School, and
no way.
one student from Radnor Elementary School, yeah. Yep.
Scabies.
And at least 18 students were diagnosed with the infectious disease.
Okay, what is scabies?
It's a rash.
Okay.
Isn't that... Wait, okay. Scabies isn't crabs?
Well, it is caused by a mite. A little creature.
Okay.
But they normally it's not visible to the naked eye. But it's not It's not crabs.
It's not... Okay.
It's not like
but
crotch
do you
crabs.
get it down there?
You can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you're lucky.
The scabies will burrow under the skin and lay eggs.
Oh, God.
An itchy rash consisting of raised tracts, bumps, or blisters may appear on parts of the body, including between fingers, wrists, elbows, armpits, waistline, thighs, and genitalia.
Including the nutsack.
Yes, probably.
Yeah.
Well, there
all the little crevices and cracks.
Yeah.
They lay their
Ball
eggs.
sacks are yummy.
I remember in high school there was an outbreak in our school, but it was everyone who was getting it down there.
Yeah. And so it seems like it's few and far between that we have scabies outbreaks. I always consider that one of those bizarre peripheral things like scurvy and gout.
There was you know the guy that I told you about that wanted to go halfsies on the fleshlight.
Oh yeah. And by the way, again, take that in. Nick knows someone who wanted to go halvesies on a fleshlight.
Yeah.
God, I hate him.
Yeah, me too. I love him, but I hate him. But he there was an outbreak of it in college.
Is this guy an Elvis impersonator by any chance?
No. But he was at the Nationals game last night. But he was in college. He got scabies, and he got it through sexual contact. And so we would make fun of him incessantly afterwards. And the way that we'd make fun of him was just by saying scabies every time we would walk by. But yeah, he got it through sexual contact with a very dirty girl.
Okay, all right. By the way, Steve, you mentioned scurvy. Scurvy, I read the other day, is making a comeback.
Of course.
Hey, it's all the rage.
Because of like fasting diets and things like that.
Oh,
People
that's
are not,
awesome.
They're not getting the vitamin C that they need, I
what
guess.
is that?
We thought we'd missed out on it, Preston, because we weren't able to take the trip to the New World.
Yeah, it's a vitamin C deficiency, and it can make you really, really sick.
And like fruit and stuff like that was how you fought it, right?
Yep.
And leprosy, we learned, is making a comeback.
That's where the term limeys came from, is when the English would travel, they would load up all these limes to try and keep scurvy away. Hang on a second. Maddie has scabies, and Kathy's going to leave the room now. She doesn't even want to be on the phone with somebody with scabies. Hey, how you doing, Maddie?
Good. I had scabies.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Oh, it says actually has scabies.
Yes,
Okay.
I had scabies, and it was horrible. I think I got it on the Appalachian Trail because there was no STD thing going on.
Yep. Okay. So it's interesting that you mentioned that, and that's possibly where this particular outbreak came from. But I'll get into those details in a moment. How bad did it get for you?
It was horrible, dude. Every fold in your skin on your body, they burrow into and they lay eggs, and there's these little tunnels. It's horrible. And
You're laughing as you're talking about scabies tunnels.
yes,
Yeah.
these tunnels. They're like under your skin, like in your knuckles and the creases of your finger.
die.
So Maddie,
Kathy, in your junk too.
in your junk. Okay, we're looking at a picture. You're right,
Holy-
Maddie. It says skin condition caused by burrowing mite.
And they lay the eggs in there. Yeah.
They lay the eggs. It was horrible. They gave me this poison that I had to rub all over my body.
Yep.
And I had to wait like an hour and let it seep in. And then blistering caused. There's blistering afterwards.
Maddie, let me ask you: did they make the trip down to your junk? Did you have it around that region?
They were anywhere there's a fold or a crease. There is burrowing mite.
And not for anything. Go ahead.
Here's the reason why it spreads like that. The incubation period is 2 to 6 weeks.
Oh my God!
Before the itching even occurs, so it gets all over your body. These
And you
things,
don't know yet?
And like you said, Maddie, listen. It says the doctor in this story said you apply this cream. It's a topical prescription from scalp to toes. Every part of the body.
Everywhere, and it burns.
And then you have to sleep overnight with it on. They said it needs to be on for 8 to 10 hours for it to work properly. Yeah.
Do you have to put it in the butthole?
Oh my God.
You put it everywhere, Preston.
Okay.
Thank you for clearing your throat.
Do you have to put it butthole?
No, I'm a 40-year-old man, and I had it when I was 30, and I had to have my mother rub the cream on my back. That's how
you didn't have to.
Yeah, I would have.
I mean, can you
who else am I going to ask?
I don't know.
Thanks, Maddie. I appreciate it.
Maybe like a girlfriend or wife.
Somebody who could put it in your
mother. I have to go over to my
93.3 WNMR. It's Everyday on Rocks. This is a beautiful song. But I just realized something, and we'll have to do a comparison. We don't have time to do it today, but at the very end of that, the little piano part,
yeah,
it reminds me of the Dracula, the Dracula musical from Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Yes. Have you ever seen the footage of the table read they do for this?
No.
It's great.
What, for
it's
that movie?
Yeah, for the movie, it's legit. They're all sitting around the table reading the script, and he's got a little keyboard there.
And he starts playing that.
And so it's the first time everybody hears it. It's great.
We're going to have to compare those two because that sounds pretty close. All right, it is 10:31. It's a Monday morning with the Preston and Steve Show. I'd like to thank Mr. Greg Murphy for joining us from the Phillies broadcast team. Just checking in, letting us know, giving a little insight into his take on what's happening with the Phils, and obviously a 5:07 start tonight. That's great. It's an earlier time. Beautiful night for a game, and hopefully all goes well. And we'll be very happy people tomorrow morning. We'll find out.
Yes.
Nice. By the way, real quick, I would like to wish a very happy birthday to somebody we all know, super fan of the Preston and Steve Show. It's Shelly Girl's birthday. I was handed a note here. So Shelly and Chris if you've been to any of our events with any regularity, then you've met Shelly and Chris. So we wish Shelly a very, very happy birthday. Why am I hearing,
It's for Shelly.
Do you hear the music?
Yeah.
Do you smell toast?
It was potted up just a little bit.
What was?
Do you smell burning toast?
Yeah.
No, that was weird. I heard a little music
I
come out
did hear
too.
that in my room, too.
You what?
I hear that in my room.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Something bleeds over. It's aliens, I think.
That's the surveillance system.
I believe so.
How you doing, man?
Good.
Excellent. You have a good weekend?
Wild weekend, yeah. See, well, Thursday.
Did you kill a man?
No, I didn't. I didn't do that. No. Although I was trying to get on a house renovation project.
And you get
TV shows.
You get angry.
That's a reference to earlier. No, Thursday night, Rolling Stones.
God.
Bizarrely enough, Friday, a friend of mine had wanted to go, and I went to Cirque du Soleil.
What'd you think?
It's cool.
It's really good, isn't it?
I went to
amazing.
it too, Pierre.
Did you? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, out in
Oaks.
Expo Center, in Oaks. And then Saturday night, Jackie and I were among the co-hosts at the Geeter presentation at the Academy of Music, and it was so much fun. Adam Weiner, as he was on with you guys Friday, and he did a great job introducing each band. And in tribute to the Geeter, he changed his T-shirt between every.
That's right.
Yes.
Geeter would come out with
different outfit,
completely different outfits, and Adam made a reference to it. I got to see his apartment before they sold it and took it down, and including his clothes closet, which is the size of the studio.
Yeah.
And more shoes, more suits, more hats. And his girlfriend Keely gave me one of his hats, so I wore it on stage when Jackie and I went out to do the proceedings. And then
was it? I assume it was packed up, right? I mean, people.
Packed.
Yeah,
it's just a great crowd, great bands. Darlene Love was a headliner. Bobby Wilson, who's Jackie Wilson's son, and is a great singer in his own right, came out and did a lot of his dad's songs. And Jerry had really been instrumental in his career. Adam had been really helped by Jerry, Adam Weiner. So he opened the show, and it was just a wonderful evening of music. So that was cool. And then yesterday morning, I went out drinking after that. Then I limped home and got home about 3:30, and then got up at 7 so I could listen to our broadcast.
I was listening
from his
as
last
well.
show.
Yeah.
It really came out good. Pancake did an amazing job on it, but that was really cool.
Nice.
If you tuned in yesterday morning between 7 and 10 and go, what is going on? The doo-wop, the da-da-da-ba-da-da, and every record was so damn scratchy.
That's what you would anticipate. You said the storage was non-existent, that they were all kind of strewn about.
It wasn't Pono, let's put it that way.
Yeah, it wasn't Pono.
45 stacked on top of each other, no sleeves. And then one of his buddies was with us, and he said he just did it by color of the label.
Yeah.
And remember when you'd play records?
Yep.
Sometimes you would kind of reference a band by the color of the label or the jacket, album artwork, that sort of thing. So
if people forgot or missed it, can they hear it? Will it be available?
Unfortunately not, because we wanted to post it, but with all the so much music on it,
yeah,
unless we rebroadcast it at some point down the line, But it's really, truly everything that rocks. You won't hear anything like that on a major rock and roll station like this just about any time. So it was really cool.
Excellent.
And thanks to Bill Weston for letting us do it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it was really a left turn, a 3-hour left turn. So it was cool.
Nice. Full weekend for you then.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we need to get a letter from you if you can squeeze one out.
You bet.
Here we go.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Now, the Daily Letter.
All right. The Preston and Steve Show is brought to you today by the letter
W as in wacky.
All right. And we have a pair of tickets for Mammoth VIP experience for 2. MMR presents Mammoth WVH. Mammoth 2 Tour 2023 with Nita Strauss. And this is going to be Saturday, November 18th at Keswick. Tickets are sold out for the show. And the VIP experience includes VIP laminate, limited edition signed poster, sound check access, band Q&A, and a group photo with the band. So we'll give that away on Friday. Collect those letters, and hopefully you will win by then. What's happening on today's program?
Well, we will have Crumb Bum Cash coming. Oh, no.
We won't
have that.
No.
All right, so that's not going to happen. But we do, as you mentioned, much to my pleasant surprise, have Blink-182 tickets to give away for their show 5 or 6 years from now, coming to the Big Joint. So that'll be cool. We've got those all this week. And workforce blocks of Offspring and Pink Floyd. And, was it yesterday, Nick?
Yeah, 10-year anniversary of Pierre and Matt Cord and I interviewing Eddie Vedder and the concert at the Wells Fargo Center. And so we'll relive some of that, play some music, play some of the interview clips. And that should be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that'll be in the 1 o'clock hour. And if you guys remember, I think it was Chuck D'Amico's idea, why don't you come in on Preston and Steve and replay the interview there? And I think you were kind enough to give us like an hour and a half, and we came in and talked about the setup and the background and getting ready for it. We'll replay some of those stories, but the interview was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Shout out.
It's unbelievable that it's been a decade, but it has.
And tomorrow will be the anniversary of us coming on on your program and talking about it. So
Excellent. So we'll do that then, too.
Yeah.
I love it. All right. Well, let me thank our sponsors. Preston and Steve Show brought to you today by Lincoln Mills Haunted House. You can get your tickets today at LincolnMillsHaunt.com. And also brought to you by Duncan. And the Preston and Steve Show runs on Duncan. Tomorrow, a Tuesday, we'll give away the tattoo for Tuesday. And I'm sure we have some other things we have giveaway-wise that we'll get to. And then everything else will fall into place. And we'll have a wonderful Tuesday together. That's it. We are done. Rage on. Have a great day. Go Phils.
Yeah!
And we'll see you tomorrow, gang. Bye-bye.